he's winning going away, right? Like this was a 4-shot victory, and like you guys said, he didn't play all that well. So he's very, 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 very scary right now.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. It is the 2024 Masters recap show. We got a lot to talk about. We got the full squad. Trent, Frankie, Dan is live from Augusta, the media center, and myself. Scottie Scheffler wins by 4. Complete domination on the second 9 in the final round. That's the main story. It's like the 5th podcast that we've done so far this year where we kind of just lead with, guess what? Scottie Scheffler is unbelievably dominant. Shout out to DK Partner. That was the only bet that I won the entire week, and it's because of the odds and how dominant Scottie is. You kind of had to go hard on it. I did, so that part felt good. But yeah, there's a lot to digest in terms of Scottie's dominance. It was a hell of a leaderboard with about 8 to 10 holes left, and then all of a sudden things started to materialize. You realized Scottie was going to win, and very methodically, Scottie just won.
He made a bogey on 7. And I think it was a 4-way tie at one point. It was him and Ludvig and Colin and Max. And Scottie actually wasn't really playing that well. Felt like the whole week he was a little scratchy, and he chipped in a couple times. He made a couple long putts. He missed a couple short putts. It seemed like he was kind of wobbly. And then he birdied 8, hit 2 perfect shots, got up and down from right of the green. He almost hooped his approach on 9. It was like 2 inches away from going in. And then on 10, the approach he hit on 10 just really reminded me a lot of the approaches that Tiger used to hit when he was in the lead. It started at the middle of the green. It gently drew. It landed on the fat side of the green. It spun left to about 12 feet. He poured the putt in. And he basically took the tournament by the throat in that moment, and he never let go. And it was funny how this year it was 11 that seemed to kind of whittle away everyone. 5 years ago with Tiger, it was 12. They all hit in the water. It was 11 today. The wind was hard off the right. The pin was back left. And it was playing so long. The tee's so far back there now that they had like a 200-yard shot wind off the right. Both Ludvig and Colin put it in the water there. And then 12 came in for the final punch with Max. And then really the last 2.5 hours, Scottie just put on a clinic. It was that 68 with the lead that's Tiger stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. Scottie Scheffler, I am so proud of you. I hope that this gets to you since I can't talk to you personally. I've been missing you for a long time, real long time. He's won 2 Masters now since we've really last spoken to this guy. And it's a phenomenal experience to watch this guy play the game of golf at a dominating pace. But I will say, like, all my buddies are like, that's just boring coming down the stretch because they want some drama. They want it to come down to the last shot. And I said, you got that on the 11th hole. That's just where the drama was. You looked at the scoreboard, you looked at the leaderboard. You had 4 or 5 names. You even had probably 7 or 8 that could have been in the mix at that point with a lot of holes to go. You get a bunch of guys in the water, and it's over. If that guy hits the green on 12, it's over, and he does. And he just signed, sealed, and delivered, man. It was as simple as it gets. Boring golf when you're just like ho-humming down the middle and just hitting middle of the greens and going for it on 15. And it's just the guy is simply better than the rest. And it's just so evident how much better he is than everybody else.
I don't know what people want. Like, how often do we have a golf tournament, and specifically the Masters, that comes down to like the 18th hole when it's like, holy shit, what's going to happen?
Right.
You're right, Frankie. It happened on 11. That was your drama. We had a really good tournament, as Dan alluded to, when it was tied at 6 under with 4 guys at the top and probably 7 guys involved. Like, Scottie he didn't even play that well. Like, it's not that it was really boring. It's that he just seems like he can't lose a golf tournament. I don't know why. Like, Morikawa melted down and Aberg melted down in 11. And I was like, all right, that feels like I'm watching a real human being golfer melt down. Even when Scottie makes mistakes, he'll make a bogey and then make 3 birdies in a row. And you're like, oh, he's still going to win this tournament. Like, at no point did I really think he was going to lose that tournament. Aberg made a run, didn't think he was actually going to do it. Morikawa started to melt. Like, it was Scottie all day, and that might be boring to some, but it's a golf tournament. I don't know what to tell you.
It really did not feel like he played well this week, and he won by 4 strokes against some top tier heavy hitter names that were right there. They were within a shot. They were tied deep into the first 9. And he did blitz and play well the last 10 holes. He did. He really just didn't make mistakes. The shots that weren't necessarily darts, he hit it to the right spot where he could easily get up and down. On 11, when everybody else was making double, he hit it out to the right. and really had to miss a pretty short putt to even make a bogey, but even that saved him a stroke against two of the other guys in the field. The entire week, it did not feel like he was playing well. He was missing iron shots. His distance control wasn't great. He was hitting some drives into the trees. He missed a handful of short putts, and you're thinking, man, this guy's really not playing that great. And he had a one-shot lead going into the final round. He wins by 4 shots. It's like, holy shit, how is he that much better than everybody else? And it really was clinical when it mattered. It was very reminiscent of the Tiger of 2019, where Tiger didn't do anything magical. He had the great shot on 16 where he hit it tight. Obviously, it almost went in. Michael Phelps behind him and all that. But otherwise, he did just make pars. He hit it to the safe spot on 12 and 2-putted. He hit it on the green on 13 and 15 and 2-putted. And Scottie did the same version of that this time around. It was laughable how easy he did make it look when he finally was playing pretty well, and how it almost every time this happens, it makes it more and more difficult for anyone else to win going forward, because Scottie is getting more and more comfortable in this position, and he knows how his body's going to react. He knows how his mind's going to react. He knows how his yardages change under pressure, and you could clearly tell that the other guys in there didn't. And Morikawa does have a couple majors, but it's been 3 years or whatever it's been. The other, Max and Aberg, like, really haven't been in that position, and they were goddamn close. They were playing like machines for most of the day, but a couple mistakes out there, which is why Augusta's the fucking best. Just a couple mistakes in the wrong spots cost you a couple shots. Next thing you know, you're chasing. And one of my favorite aspects of a guy playing in the final group, and they are doing all the stats all day. If we all woke up early, you watch like 7 hours of Masters coverage before the leaders even tee off, and you hear over and over again that like every Masters winner comes from the final group. And there's such an aspect of even the topography of Augusta on the second 9 that like the leader is standing up on a hill watching what's happening in front of him, and then just knows exactly how to respond to it. And they had that cool drone shot from behind 15 with the trees, and you could see Max and Aberg were like putting out, and there's Scottie just standing up on the hill. And he had been doing that the entire back 9, on 10, on 11, on 12, on 13, on 15. He's just standing up on a hill watching everything happen, and then he's able to kind of dictate and pull the strings and run the show for the tournament. So I'm with you guys. The drama did happen. It just happened between like the 8th hole and the 12th hole, and it still puts you on the edge of your seat. Like when Scottie's in the rough on the right side on 13 and he's got an iron in his hand, you're thinking like, this is a big fucking swing. And when he's standing in the middle of the hill from 225 out with a 4-iron in his hand on 15, you're like, this is a big swing. And he just executes him and makes him pretty boring. But it is, for golfers, very cool watching this guy just dominate golf.
Yeah, I think about the shot on 13. That's a guy who's very, very comfortable winning, because that ball was way above his feet. What was he, 240 out? And Ludvig was still in it. I think he had bounced back. He had birdied 14. And I was thinking, he might lay up, like he took a 4-iron, ripped it up the left side of the green. I couldn't believe that ball didn't draw with how much above your feet that is. You guys have been to Augusta. I mean, that ball is waist high. It held its line somehow. And also the shot on 12, like I think about the shot that Max hit on 12, and we can talk about that a little bit, but I think Max was trying to do the right thing. Like he wasn't hitting it right. He wasn't going for the flag. He tried to hit the Tiger line. I just think the adrenaline, it got an extra 5 yards. It hits the, just over the back edge, and it goes into the bush. And so much about golf and pro golf and winning pro golf tournaments is being able to slow down and not have that adrenaline pump. And Scottie hit the perfect number. It was the same shot that Tiger hit in 2019. 40 feet left of it, go right over the, the kind of the tongue in the bunker. And you could just tell that his heart rate and the way he played 17 and 18, it just wasn't raised at all. And he putted, he didn't miss any short putts today. He made a bunch of putts in sort of the 6 to 8 foot range. And walking around this golf course, I mean, the guys are starting to shake their head a little bit. The guys he has to play against, the caddies are starting to shake their head again, because he's winning going away, right? Like this was a 4-shot victory. And like you guys said, he didn't play all that well. So he's very, 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 very scary right now.
This episode is presented by Chevy. With golf season in full swing, Chevy wants to help you make the most of every single drive. And the all-electric Blazer EV's bold design and dynamic performance make it the perfect electric vehicle to get you to the course in style and comfort. Blazer EV helps you get the distance you're looking for with an available EPA estimated 324 miles of range on a full charge. The all-electric Blazer EV offers incredible views with an expansive 17.7-inch standard diagonal display screen. No other competitor offers a larger screen. We love the Blazer EV, don't we, gentlemen?
Blazer EV is it's a perfect, is it maturation of history and future? It's Chevy, it's iconic, it's the old school logo that you just know and you trust, and it's the innovative future of this electric vehicle, the pathway towards a cleaner and safer world. I love it. I mean, Chevy is on top of their game in terms of moving and progressing this automotive world.
Automotive?
That's the one I was going for.
Probably automotive. The Blazer EV has also earned the prestigious honor of being named Motor Trend's 2024 SUV of the Year. Motor Trend judged big, small, gas, hybrid, electric vehicle, luxury SUVs, all kinds of stuff. The Blazer EV beat them all. Head over to Chevy.com/Blazer EV to check out lease offers and amazing deals. I actually just did that. I pulled that up. You won't believe how clean these things look. They're awesome. Again, 17.7-inch standard diagonal display screen, bigger than any competitor. It's awesome. 324-mile range on a full charge. Head over to Chevy.com/Blazer EV. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Shout out to Dave Portnoy. He won $1.3 million in profit. It's a $1.6 million payout. We were at the Chicago office doing mini golf, which we also will get to at the end of the show, I assume so. We have to talk about mini golf for sure. He asked us who we liked, kind of zoned in on me, and then I just picked the favorite. I said, Scottie Scheffler is the best golfer in the world. I think you got to go with him. He goes, why? And I said, he hasn't really finished a round over par in like a year at this point. I mean, the guy does not play bad golf. Even when he plays bad golf, it seems like he's better than the rest. Dave goes to his room with Miss Peaches and then comes out and says, I just put $300,000 on them. That's on you, and points at me. So that was a very big win for me and my mentals and my physicals and everything about that win for Dave. I texted him. I said, never a doubt. And he just goes, I'm on a heater. And that's huge. You know, Dave's on a heater. He's, I think, won like $4 million or $5 million since like January in bets. Hashtag DK partner. Shout out DraftKings. Amazing time for Dave Portnoy. I want to go to 12 real quick. And, you know, I feel like because so much talk goes into the wind, and you see the Tigers and the Phils and all the veterans will look up at the trees and they'll see it moving from shot to shot, it seems, right? But is a misfire like Max Homa? I feel like as a viewer, you're like, oh, the wind must have changed on him. Or is that just a user error? Was that just a bad shot? Because I feel like 12 gets the benefit of the doubt, or the player gets the benefit of the doubt on 12.
Well, I'll say, to Dan's original point, Max was not doing what a lot of people get sucked into doing, which is trying to hit it right at that back right flag, coming up a yard short, going in the water, making double. Max was trying to hit it, it looked like, exactly where Scottie hit it, and he flew it a little too far, and then it took a bad bounce. Because typically, even if you go long, we saw balls go in the pine straw all week long, and they roll back to that spot, and guys have a pretty tricky little chip, but they make four at the worst, which even then keeps Max in the golf tournament. I think that's where he's trying to hit it. He missed it by a couple yards, and he got a horrific bounce. And then from there, I wasn't sure what the hell he was going to do from there. I was texting a bunch with Kirk about it, and I was like, he's almost better in the water at some level, because it's like he's in a bad spot back here. If he tries to play it and he hits it over the green, like that chip he ended up hitting after he took the unplayable was the right miss, was short, because if he catches that a little skinny and goes over, he's going to make like a 7, and the tournament's absolutely over. But it also was kind of already over because you have Scottie behind you. If you have anyone else in the world, it's sort of, they could do what Molinari did. They could, whatever. But it's like, that was a bad break, I think. I think he was trying to play it right. And it's such a narrow margin. Like that ball landed on the green. Like,
Stunning.
I don't think it.
Yeah. So what he said,
it sounded like it
a
hit a
stunning
table.
result.
I know.
Yeah. So they asked him, what's going through your head when that ball goes in the bushes? And he said, the honest answer is it didn't feel fair. I hit a really good golf shot and it didn't feel fair. I've seen far worse just roll back down that hill.
I'm with him. I'm 100% with him. It looks, as somebody said, it looks like it hit a table. That whatever, there's a spot on that green where it just trampolined into the bushes.
And he ended up in the worst spot on the golf course. I mean, they barely found the golf ball. He's on a downslope over a bunker to the water, Rays Creek. That's horrific and infamous and the whole deal. So I agree with him. I thought that was incredibly unfair. He was trying to play the right shot. He did. It looked like he hit the right shot. That got a crazy bounce. Even if he does go a couple yards long, I had the Amen Corner feed up the whole weekend long, and you watch ball after ball after ball, especially that front left pin that they had. Guys were hitting it a club too long all weekend, and it was landing in the back of the green, even going up in the pine straw and coming right back down almost to like a flat lie, and guys were chipping it kind of close. So that was insanely unlucky. That sucked because Max was steady, man. He was hitting the ball so good. He played 10 perfectly, almost, hooped his second shot on 11. He played it perfectly. He had a great drive. He had a sick approach shot, exactly where you're supposed to hit it, and had a 20 or 30 footer for birdie. Steps up on 12. He's confident. He's feeling good. He's got the honor, hits a great shot, and then all of a sudden that just kind of took him completely out of the tournament. So I thought that sucked, but again, I think it's one of those, like, Scottie's been in that position. He knows how his body responds. I think Max is only going to benefit from being there. Max hasn't really contended at a major championship before this, and he found himself all pretty much wire to wire was in contention. I mean, he was 4 or 5 under. I think he was 4 under when he went to sleep Thursday with still some golf to play, and ended up when he teed off today, he was 5 under and was 2 back of the lead. So he was kind of in the mix wire to wire, which I think will be great for Max. I thought he performed well. He hit it unbelievably well. He putted it good. He had a lot of those 5 and 6 footers that he poured in. So I feel like Max has nothing to be ashamed of, but goddamn, that must hurt because it didn't feel like he hit a bad shot, and it kind of took him out of the golf tournament.
He said it was the wind. I just read the transcript. He said the wind was not where it felt like.
Wow.
So that hole, it's just, isn't it amazing? Every single year, it just gets somebody.
It is like you can't go short, but you also just can't go that long either because you just run out of, it's like, that's just a really hard golf hole. It's a brilliant golf hole.
That hole feels like it's in Harry Potter. Like no one knows the answer to it. It's wizardry. And I that's what makes Augusta so incredible is like, I want to be able to say, I want to go see it for myself and like hit a golf shot and see what they're talking about. Cause it seems like the players get the benefit of the doubt to just blame sorcery. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
On Sunday of the Masters, you're like going against the best golfer in the world. You hit a shot a little bit too long, it goes into the bushes, and you're like, you know what? Like that was a perfect swing. And like you guys all know because history tells it, like the wind just took it, even though it wasn't doing that 10 seconds before. And we're all like, oh, Augusta, amazing.
Right. The real answer might be that it's the most pressure-packed hole because of the history that it has.
Yes.
Everyone has watched it. Max has watched every Masters since he's been probably 3, knows what happened in 2019. Everybody knows what has happened at that hole. So when you're standing over the ball on Sunday, you're like, holy shit, I'm here. This is the hole that has sorcery to it. It's like, you to believe in magic, you just have to believe. And that's what the 12th hole is, where it's like, oh, I hit a good shot, but it ricocheted into the bushes. Might have just been the pressure.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of both, and we also don't know what the fuck we're talking about. You could talk to a guy like Trevor Immelman, who's won there, and at the end of the day, he could be like, no, Frankie, from shot 1 to shot 4 in one group, or shot 1 to shot 2 in one group, it changes. And I'd be like, that's insane. It's just like Scottie did it 10 seconds later. You know what I mean? Like when it came down to it, someone hit the middle of the green, someone didn't.
Both.
So I understand it could change, but you just got to get it done. And I'm sure that that's going to be eating at him a little bit. I was rooting for Max. I had a nice wager on Scottie. I tailed my pick with Dave. I had to, and that was like a $2,000 payout. That was very nice. Hashtag draft, because I know Riggsy also did the same.
I had a big one, but I had a big one. It felt great.
I bet on Brooks. What an idiot.
It's just, dude, you know what I didn't realize? I did Scottie and then just alone, and then I did one of those Scottie, Brooks, and Rahm 3-way bets. So then I'm looking at my thing. I'm like, why did I win so much? I was like, holy shit. It was one of those I forgot about. I kind of like, I forgot.
How did I win so much?
How did I do so well? I've got so much money.
It was dude. I was like saying all day. I'm like, dude, I should have won 2,000. I went back. It was 3,200. I was like,
that's great.
Let's go. It was the best extra feeling ever. Yeah.
Incredible.
But yeah, it's just, I was rooting for Max, so it was hard. Cause like you have all this money on you have the potential to win a lot of money. And then you have like a guy that, I went to a bachelor party in Arizona, and we were with Max like the entire night at that Bevy's place. And we were just like hanging out. Like he's like our friend at this point. I know you're really tight with him. And you're rooting for that guy to win the Masters. Like, that means a lot to him. It means a lot to golf because he's just a regular guy who was struggling in the beginning of his career, comes out, becomes like a legend of the game to win the Masters. I was really rooting for him hard.
They asked him how he felt after how he's going to feel tomorrow, and he goes, "I haven't drank in a really, really, really long time, but I've been planning it for Sunday after the Masters, so probably not great." So that man is going to drown his sorrows tonight.
Wasn't there a stretch at the beginning of Scottie? I'd have to go back and look, like when he wasn't Scottie. Like, I remember seeing Scottie Scheffler in tournaments a couple years ago and being like, that's the guy who looks like he slips when he swings. And now he is a superstar, a dominant fucking force in the world of golf.
The rap on him before he won the 2022 Waste Management was he was like a good player. He just never won. He was like always up there. And then I remember he was the last guy who was picked for the 2021 Ryder Cup team. And it was like some debate whether he even deserved it. So he was a great college player. He was the player of the year on the Korn Ferry Tour. But you're right. It took him like a year or maybe even 2 years to start winning on the PGA Tour. And then since then, it's been a wrap.
Dude, I remember that 2021 Ryder Cup. When the singles came out, it was him versus Rahm. And I somewhat sarcastically tweeted, Scottie's beating Rahm tomorrow. And if you go back and look at the mentions, I'm sure people are like, you're insane. This is crazy. What are you talking about? This guy's a nobody. Flash to now, and it's just very different. His perception has changed so much in such a short amount of time.
Well, Trent, before Riggs goes, he used to come on the show like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's that right there is how you know how.
Well,
he used to actually respond to us. That's how bad he was. You know what I mean? Like, he is so good now that he doesn't even look at us anymore.
That's
the best barometer of success.
What was his standing in the game at Kiowa? What had he done?
I bet he was like top 20, but I don't think he had won anything, you know? He hadn't won shit.
We had him on the show the week before he won the Masters the first time.
It's gone,
and I said,
dude.
You're teeing up at Augusta with a chance. He was actually a favorite to go into that. Remember? I'm like, people expect you to win next week. I'm like, that's incredible. Soak it in, brother. And like, he was like, I fucking love it. And then he won, and he was like, who's this?
You got to let it go. You're a scorned lover. You got to let it go.
You know what? I'm texting him tonight. I'm going to say congratulations.
Too much blue on your side.
I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it.
You sound like a drunk girlfriend. I'll text him right now. I'll fucking text him.
He misses me.
Yeah, dude. Definitely. He honestly, I don't even think of him as like, I don't even remember him as one of our guys. And I'm not saying that to be like sassy. I'm saying it like he is such a big name now. And
I miss him so much.
Historically dominant now. And then, J Ray has done a great job. The Masters broadcast does a good job of stats. This guy is an all-time great. He's 27. Feels weird to say that. But this stretch, and I hope people always remember it, and I think that they will, this stretch that he's been on for the last 18 months, 24 months, dude, he is an all-time great. So I don't give a fuck that he doesn't come on the podcast. It just is what it is.
His finishes so far this year, he went, we're going to go from now backwards. First, tied for second, first, tied for 10th, tied for third, tied for sixth, tied for 17th, tied for fifth. Those are his starts so far in the 2023-2024 season, and he is showing zero signs of slowing down.
He's going to break every fucking record. He's going to break every money record by a mile.
Well, yeah, but that stuff's inflated. It's like the money's so much more now that it's almost like whoever wins each year. Like, remember, like Cantlay a couple years ago, like set the money record. I feel like because they just make so much money, but he's going to set. I mean, he's on pace to set a lot more than just that. This guy he's fucking unstoppable at this point. I mean, he is unstoppable. He didn't even play that well this week. 1 by 4. So
his caddy, Ted Scott's rising up the ranks also in terms of money list.
No, he is.
Alex Bush just sent me the tweet, my John Rahm, Scottie Scheffler tweet from the Ryder Cup. My first response is, "Are you drunk?" So people are doubters.
Yeah, they hated you. They hated that pick.
He did. He won that match, and that like vaulted him into stardom when he beat Rahm, and now he's just completely dominant. Augusta, we could talk about just Augusta National in general. The toughest I've ever remember watching it play, especially all the way up until today. That the first 3 rounds, I mean, the first day it was a little bit soft out there, but it was blowing 20, 30 miles an hour. That Friday was wild. It was blowing 30 miles an hour. The wind was crazy. Seeing people's scorecards was unlike anything I've ever witnessed at the Masters tournament. Seeing Justin Thomas blow up, seeing Brian Harman shot 1 or 2 under on the first 9 and then shot 47 You just saw some astronomical numbers. Every time I turned around, somebody was making a double bogey. I had, 10 people start on my Masters app because of different wagers through DraftKings Sportsbook, and you would just get an alert. This guy made a double bogey. That guy made a double bogey. They hadn't, outside of Thursday morning, really gotten any rain there in a few weeks, so they were kind of able to have it as firm as they wanted. And it really does show you the fine line at Augusta of, we saw so many balls, shout out to Max Homa's, where it hit the table, like green. So many balls land in what looked like a good spot, roll near the pin, and then just go an extra couple feet, creep off the green, and then they had just an impossible chip. A lot of guys were putting from off the green. It just kind of showed the teeth that Augusta doesn't show that often because it's April in Georgia, and it usually rains a lot in April in Georgia. And it was just unlike I'd ever seen it before. And that golf course, with how long it is now, how treacherous it can be, and then you add the water and how penalizing it can truly be, it was just wild to watch. It was much more like a U.S. Open for a lot of it than it was like a Masters tournament where you see all kinds of fireworks and eagles, and it was just, people were fucking hanging on for dear life. Max Homa didn't make a birdie from the 5th hole on his second round until like his 3rd hole, I think, today on his final round, where he just was making pars, and he stayed in the golf tournament and was only 1 or 2 back by doing that. So the golf course just played differently than I can ever really remember it playing. And it was very fun to watch it play that way.
Yeah, it just, you think about how much they've tweaked just in the last decade. It's basically not a different golf course. It's the same golf course, but they've kept up, and that's what you have to do when you host a major every year. The second hole, they moved the tee 10 yards back and further to the left, so it's much harder to not hit it in that bunker now. They put a new tee on 2, or they put a new green pin position on 2 because the green is flatter in the back. They've lengthened the 11th hole, they've lengthened the 13th hole, they've lengthened the 15th hole. So they've done an incredible job of keeping it tough, and I think the members loved it this year, because I remember in the chairman's press conference with Fred Ridley on Wednesday, the November Masters came up. And he was like, they asked him if they could have a women's Masters, and he said no, because, we're closed in the summer, and in the fall, the golf course just doesn't play how we like for a golf tournament. We had one of those one time, and Dustin Johnson did very well. And you could just tell that they wish they didn't have that tournament, because 20 under par is not what they want to see. So I think this is going to be the model going forward. It was a great setup. It was super firm the first 3 days. It ejected a lot of people. And then Sunday, there were some scores out there. We saw Ludvig hit it really close on 14. Scottie spun it back on 9. Like, that wasn't happening. And Phil said they watered a lot of the greens. So I love that rhythm. U.S. Open for the first 3 days. Let the boys make birdies and eagles on Sunday.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. The broadcast was great. We'll get to Trevor Immelman in a little bit. That's one of the all-time foreplay moments, that's for sure. But the drone shots, the colorization, the birds chirping, it always just hits perfectly. It's the one thing that you could sit in front of your TV for 50 hours for an entire week and just not get bored of the little things. Phenomenal. The Masters app didn't crash once. I'm on a plane. No. I'm everywhere. I'm in a car. I was golfing today before the leaders teed off. You just watching it in the golf cart. Never, ever, ever misses a beat. You want to go featured hole, you want to go coverage, you want to go amen corner. It's instantaneous. You miss a guy's shot. Maybe you have some money on some guy. Oh, Will Zalatoris. I had him finish top 10. Oh my God. Backdoor Will Zalatoris top 10. Wow. Phenomenal stuff.
I can't stop making money.
Will Zalatoris top 10. It was a dead heat payout, but wow, is that phenomenal. Thought it was a loser. He missed his putt, I think, on 17 for a birdie. And I'm like, that's a loser. He's T12, somehow T10. Just phenomenal. Like a phenomenal broadcast, and just the IBM, whatever they're doing behind the scenes, they got that guy Watson, and they also, I don't know if he's got the app going, but they're just figuring something out.
Frankie, you hipped me to the natural sound feature on the Masters app, and I love that thing. I did that for the first 2 days, which natural sound is just no announcers, just golf shots. You can hear gallery roars. You can hear the caddy talking to the player talking to the caddy. That, every sport should take that and use it. Because, sometimes you just don't want to listen to the announcers, whether you like them or not. If you just want to watch something and not have to deal with like commentary, like baseball would be great for that. And maybe they have that where you just listen to it and you don't have to worry about the announcers. You're just listening to the natural sounds of the sport. That, like, I had that on in my apartment playing through this nice speaker that I have. I felt like I was there. They limit the graphics on it. So it's just camera shots. You feel they had the camera behind 13. Rory was teeing off on Friday, and I felt like I was spying on a practice round that he was playing. It was so cool. You're just watching guys play golf. So every sport should do it, and that was my favorite feature of the year.
It's great listening to our friend Colt Nose out there. It's amazing they let him do that at the Masters, like every single year. They keep inviting him back.
Do that.
He does a great job, but
he's so prominent.
He's outrageously prominent. Also, Smiley Kaufman was phenomenal this year. He is so well versed in how to like explain how good of a golf shot that was, because you know that it's coming from personal experience. I know Colt does the same thing, but Smiley, for some reason, I don't know if it's like the way he speaks, he's so smooth. He gets a lot of information out quickly. And there were a couple shots that Tiger hit on Thursday and Friday that he's like, I don't think you guys get just how good that was. And it makes you kind of sit back and be like, if he's saying that, all right, that it adds a little bit more oomph behind what he's saying. And he's Smiley. It's not like, you're not listening to Tiger Woods talk or a guy that's won a million times, but the way he delivers it, man, I really, really like Smiley. This is what he was made for.
He was one back at the Masters in 2006. He played in the final group on Sunday.
I know.
So he's done. Yeah, he's done it before. I forgot.
That's a little tarnished for me because he was at like the Natty. He was at the Natty Shack the next year, and it was just like, what the hell is even talking? Like, it was weird. But yeah, Smiley has made it happen before.
Game time. Did you know that tonight, actually, as we're recording this, I could get a last call ticket to the Footprint Center for Nate Bargatze at $67.
Ooh.
$67. I know.
Phenomenal.
I love Nate. He's incredible. Unfortunately, I got work to do. We're doing this podcast right now, trying to talk a little Masters, doing a little recap. But that's the kind of action that you get from Game Time. All kinds of amazing offers. The Cubs at the Diamondbacks, Arizona, tomorrow, 6:40 p.m., $17 you can get tickets for. That's right, with Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Finding tickets for less has never been easier. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and the easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, theater, events near you. Going to events is the best thing in the world. Simple.
The best. Gearing up for the playoffs coming up. Hopefully we make it. Think we're going to make it. We should make it. Projections say we should make it. And just being able to click on that Game Time app and be like, I'm going to support my team. This is it. Grab it and go.
Put the jersey on.
That's what it's all about. Put the jersey on. Brock Nelson, 29, Wall Road, one road in, one road out. I got to be there. I got to be able to scream that. If he's going to have a hat trick, I want to throw my hat on the ice. I got to be there.
Have to.
Game Time's got flash deals for sudden discount, zone deals for when you're feeling flexible, and their lowest price guarantee, which means that if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is the best place for last-minute seats with up to 60% off of your favorite events. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Our guy Jake Knapp, I had a bet on him to make the cut, and he had the most miraculous made cut. He finished at 6 over, and he said today, I talked to him, he said he cleared out his locker. He said he thought there was no chance. It kept on getting windier and windier. The second to last group on Friday was Hideki Matsuyama. He was 4 over par. The only way Jake could make the cut is if Hideki Matsuyama double bogeyed 18, and he double bogeyed 18. It moved them all up to T50,
Wow.
and he made the weekend. So that's
like
the
me
good
and Mini.
karma you get for showing up to a night of foreplay on Monday of the Masters.
Very true. Great showing from Jake.
Yep, nice to see our boy out there making the cut. Verne Lundquist, we got to talk about him. There's a lot of tributes. One of the greats to do it. One of the greats to ever call the Masters. He's just been there for so many shots, 16. How many iconic shots have gone down on 16? And then today, in just an all-time moment, Tiger was out there on 16. There were a couple great clips before, which was like, there was a lot of worlds colliding, but it was the Verne thing. He's sitting in his chair behind the tree. It was Tiger out there in his Sunday red. And then you had Colt Knost calling the whole thing, and he was kind of going through and delivering. And then Tiger, after they finished up, went and shook Verne's hand. The camera angle that they had in real time was amazing because it looked like the tree was just shaking Tiger Woods' hand. And that meme went out all over the place. But amazing. I would have never thought that Tiger Woods would have just in that moment. I don't know. Tiger's Tiger. He's kind of locked in. He's dialed. He's the robot. He's the Terminator when he's inside the ropes. he went over, shook Verne's hand, and gave him, a thank you and a nice little salute. So hats off to Verne. He's just got that perfect cadence, the perfect voice. He knows when to be quiet. He knows when to say something, and he's always said the right thing. All kinds of iconic calls in all kinds of sports, but especially the Masters, the 16th hole, the Tiger shot, the Jack shots, all kinds of golf shots throughout the years. So Verne, the tributes were great. And I just thought they nailed it with that. And I was happy Tiger went over there and gave a nice little handshake to the tree.
That's Masters porn. I think if it's any other golf tournament, no way Tiger goes over there. That is like it's Masters porn. When you're even Tiger, you're playing the Masters, you know what it's about. And it's about shit like that. Verne's a legend, dude. Like a legend. This is his 40th Masters. He's the guy. So now when you cross by him on 16, you're like, I'm going to shake this guy's hand because we're at the Masters. So I thought it was great. Him shaking the hand of the tree was very funny. Verne's a legend. There's not much else you can say about it. Them like having him in studio the weeks or the days leading up, talking about the jack putt, talking about Tiger on 16, like that's more Masters porn. This week is all about porn that's not porn. It's Masters porn. And they do a great job of it. Drone shots, all this shit. It's porn.
It's great porn.
It does the same thing to your brain that porn does. It's like, I'm just fucking into this. Kind of want to make me do something.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Dopamine. Are we ready to have the Tiger conversation?
Made the cut.
Tiger Woods made the cut. I don't know what to think, to be quite frank with you. I was stunned afterwards when I saw his clip of him saying, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to gear up for the PGA Championship. I actually couldn't believe that. When I heard that, I thought, Kirk texted me after he finished on Saturday and was like, so he's going to announce he's retiring after the round tomorrow, right? And I, for the first time in my life, genuinely was like, all right, I'm closer to agreeing with you than not, just because it's not the ankle, it's everything. It was like his back, he couldn't move. The whole thing was just like, what happened? Guy made the cut. He's 1 over. He's only 7 off the lead. He's making comments Friday evening about how he's still in the golf tournament, which is awesome. And then it was like he was one of these guys who was playing in his last Masters, who's 80 years old, and he waves his hat after every hole. It just went downhill quickly. It was demoralizing, and I'm very confused about what to think about Tiger Woods right now.
I didn't think he was going to retire, but I will say I was stunned when I heard he was going to play on Sunday. I thought he was donezo. And I would have been fine with that. I would have been more than fine with it. I don't need to see him finish in 17 over or whatever he finished. If he were like, I got through Saturday, that's 1 day longer than I got through last year, I'm going home. And I thought for sure that was going to be the report coming out. Like, Tiger is withdrawing. He's not going to play Sunday. The fact that he played, I was stunned. And at times it was very hard to watch.
So his scores on the weekend since the accident at the Masters, 78, 78, 82, 77. So it's not fun to watch, but that's the thing. It's like, he doesn't owe anybody anything. And I think this week, with how painful it was and how badly he played and how embarrassing his score was, I still think that this week for him was way better than not playing the Masters. It's what he loves to do. He loves being out there. And so it's an interesting dynamic where I think the Tiger fans don't want to see the guy in pain if he can't play. But Tiger himself, he loves being in the mix. He loves, joking with the guys. Like, he loves competing so much, and he's going to do, it's not like football where he's going to get cut from the roster. He can do it as long as he wants. So is he going to do this for another 10 years? He might. It's what he loves to do.
Yeah, as bad as it was, he still showed some improvements from what we had seen or what we had expected. Of course, Saturday and Sunday did not go as we expected, but did you guys think that he was going to show up after 2 rounds at the Masters, especially playing 23 holes on Friday, which was an impossible day to score? He finished 1 stroke back of Max Homa. He was even par for the day. Max Homa was 1 under. I mean, come on, like, that was
his golf game's good.
It is.
His golf game's great, right? And he proved that.
He
He
was able
to walk. He was able to walk. And I know it's insane to talk about taking any positive away from a guy that shot an 82 and a 77. It's really, really difficult. The guy couldn't move on Saturday. It was hard to watch. It was like Dan Soder saying it's Shane Gillis when the old dog walks into the room. He's like, "Hey, buddy." It's like watching Joe Biden come out for like a speech. Like, "Oh, hey, buddy, how's it going? You all right?" That's what Tiger looked like. We're like, is he gonna bend down and get that ball, dude? Watching him put the fucking marker down behind the ball was like insane. He would put it down, and then just with his pointer finger, he would just shimmy it close like this. Like he couldn't. If once he was down, he couldn't maneuver. So if he didn't perfectly figure out where he had to put it down, it was like a 5-second little shimmy to get it behind the ball. It was tough to watch. He needed one of those garbage picker upper things. He needs a cane is what he needs. He needs a cane. I know. I just think the 23 holes really did him in. I think it was just not what he expected going in. I don't think his physio and all of the stuff that he does was ready for it. And it's just frustrating.
It was also wild because he Thursday looked great. Like the whole day, he looked great. And he got through 13 holes, I think it was. And then they came out in the morning on Friday, and he pipes one 315 down the middle. And then Dottie fucking Pepper is like, yeah, I'll be honest, he was moving horrible. Like she was trying to explain that he was moving horrifically that morning, but she couldn't spit it out. In his backswing as he's hitting his approach shot on 14, he chunks it, makes bogey, stumbles in, and then from that moment all the way through Saturday, he just didn't look like he was moving well. Like second part of the round, in the second round he did, and he played great and posted an even par, I think it was, after the one over. So you kind of saw signs of hope. And then it's just I don't know why his body just can do 2 days. Like he makes the cut in the Masters whenever he tries to, and he's right around even or whatever the hell he's been the last couple of years, and then he just isn't even close on the weekend. So I get that he's injured, all that. It just, I've never seen anything like that in my life where I'm like, what is this guy? Is it another surgery? Like, what does he got to do to just be like where he's got to get through 4 rounds? He can only do 2.
Do you think there's a chance that Tiger Woods, now that he has a new swing based off of his new leg, based off all the things that are now hurting because of his new swing, because of the new leg stuff, do you think he will now get a back surgery to alleviate that pain and then hope that the next 7 to 10 years of playing the Masters is pain-free? I am saying right now, today, on April 14th of 2024, I believe Tiger Woods will get another back procedure.
His back was definitely bothering him this week, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, you could tell the way that he didn't want to bend down. I mean, but the record that's an amazing record. 24 straight. I mean, think about the guys who missed the cut just this week, right? Brian Harman missed it. Wyndham Clark, who's been like the second best player on the PGA Tour, ran his mouth a little bit, missed the cut. Justin Thomas missed the cut. Just every single year with how hard the course is playing, some guys who come in playing great just miss the cut. It happens in golf tournaments all the time. To do it 24 straight years in the condition that he has come to this golf course in the last couple of years, and never, no matter, like, you get the wrong side of the draw, you get a bad bounce, never miss the cut in 24 in a row. That is extremely, extremely impressive.
And I saw some haters being like, oh, Cal Ripken, if he missed a game because he was sick, they wouldn't have counted his Ironman thing, his record. And golf's just not the same. When you tee it up, you are then in the tournament. Like if a guy just skips a tournament, that's not missing the cut. You just didn't play. I saw a lot of that of saying it's like a bullshit record because he's just missed it from injury. That's the stupidest comment I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're teeing it up, you're now saying I'm going to make the cut, and he's done that every single time he's ever played.
Right.
No, it's legit. It's incredibly impressive, and it's also infuriating at the same time because of what we're saying. I think you're right, Frankie. I think he's definitely going to have another back procedure. I don't know how this happened where his ankle now is he's not limping. Like, I didn't really notice him limping at all. He's walking around fine. And when we did our video with him in November, he was healthy as could be. The guy dropped down to his fucking knees and ripped one off of his knees and outdrove me, and like everything's fine. He popped right up, and then he's just, 2 days into the Masters, he like can't move anymore. So I just don't know. I don't know. I don't understand that. I have never seen anyone like that in my life, and it's frustrating because while he's old, he's 48. If he didn't have a messed up back, he would just be able to compete. Like, he's hitting the ball, he's driving it great. I was like blown away at how well he drove the golf ball. His hands are sick. Some of the up and downs that he had, that one on 11 where he hit that like high nipper in there, he had all these cool little bump and runs. He was making putts, like he was making a bunch of the little ones that you got to kind of make on those slippery greens. Like, his game was sick. He just ran out of gas, and he had stretches for an hour where he couldn't bend over, and if he didn't mark his ball perfectly, it was a whole ordeal. It's like I just don't understand. Ordeal. Fuck me, man. It's like he's close. He can play the game, but he can't play the game. I don't know. It's very frustrating. It was demoralizing, to be honest with you. It was like, I just want him to wake up and just be physically able to do it. And it's bizarre to me that sometimes he can and sometimes he can't. I don't know. My brain can't.
His tee time this morning was 9:35, and he told Neil Shipley, the amateur that he played with, that he woke up at 3:45 in the morning to start preparing. So he has to wake up 5 hours and 50 minutes before his tee time.
I mean,
at what
crazy.
point do you when you finish 45th and 50th every week? Like but I guess he loves it. He probably loves it. He probably loves doing that.
There's no way he loves his physical condition. He definitely has to make him angry. Like he has to look at his legs and look at his back every night and be like, "Fuck you! You guys are failing me." Everything else, I got the hands, I got the brain. I've been through it all. I listened to Army tapes when I was a kid. Like, I've done all of this, and now here we are. We're sitting at 15. He drug his back and his legs and his body to the 15th. He was like, "That was mine." Now, if you guys could just contribute a little bit and not make me get up at 3:45 in the morning so we can go fucking shoot 88 or whatever he shot, that's got to be so frustrating to him. That he can't love. Being at Augusta, playing with the guys, I'm sure he loves that. But the body part, he's got to fucking despise and borderline resent.
Did you guys see this Neil Shipley weird interaction with the reporter in his presser?
Oh, yeah. I was in the room. It was very strange.
Yeah. At the very end of Shipley's presser today, they asked him, reporter very simply said, "Hey, it looked like in, I think, the 8th fairway, Tiger wrote something down on a note and then handed you a note. What was that about? What did that say?" And Shipley looked around and was like, "That didn't happen." And the reporter was like, "No, it looked like it happened. Like, we saw it." And he was like, that didn't happen." And then they ended the press conference. It was fucking crazy.
Did it happen?
I haven't seen the footage, but I can't imagine this fucking reporter's making it up.
There were some memes going around about his Butler Cabin performance just now that his eyes were shifting around.
It was wild, dude. Wait till you see this clip. This response from this kid.
Yeah. When the question was asked, he looks immediately at the at the Augusta National member next to him. And he goes, like, how do I respond to this? So it almost seemed like there was some sort of ritual or something.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It almost came off like he's like, "I'm not allowed to talk about this," or something, like, I don't know.
I respect that.
And I think during the when he was in there with Jim Nantz, I think the meme was he was staring at himself, similar to when you guys were on the Golf Channel for the first time.
Yeah, Trent was looking.
He was just looking at himself.
There's that bug. You gotta see that bug on the floor. It's right there. You can see it. You're looking at a bug on the floor. Yeah,
it was weird,
this Neil Shipley, he sounds electric. The note thing, I'm very interested in. Like, he's like, Tiger. Yeah. You know what the note probably said is, when they ask you about this in the press conference, don't fucking say a word about this.
Yeah,
it's like a rite of passage.
Or it just said like it's just the Tiger handed it to him, and it just says, "I'm gonna fuck so many women tonight because I held out for this fucking tournament." Or something. He just let out all of his anger on Shipley.
That's a good point. You bring up a good point. Tiger, just get out there, man. Get on Tinder, get on Bumble, whatever you got to do leading up. Set the location to Augusta and just rip, because you can't be shooting 82s at the Masters.
No, we need you to F. We need you to F hard.
Very cool seeing Charlie Woods out there this morning. I loved that, where he was out there for Tigers. That actually contributed to me thinking that Tiger's going to announce that he's retiring after the round. When I saw Charlie flew in for the Sunday round and he was out there helping him on the range and stuff. Very cool move and moment, having the two of them out there together. Charlie was in some of the Sunday Red stuff. So just a quick note on that. Thought that was very cool. And yeah, otherwise on the Tiger stuff, I'm encouraged that he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go take a scouting trip to Valhalla. I'm excited to play in the rest of the majors." So I guess that's great. I guess we can't look at that as anything other than positive. His game's there for the most part. I think he could honestly contend. He could play good golf. He made the cut by 5 when you had a lot of great players. Spieth, JT, all the guys we mentioned didn't make the cut, and he did. So there's positives, but yeah, it was a little bit demoralizing at times.
You think he can contend? I mean, we're having the same conversation that we had on Monday. But you think that he can contend?
His golf game, yes. I'm saying I don't think he can currently contend unless he gets dramatically healthier physically. But I'm saying, in terms of his actual golf game, what I saw, yeah, I think he absolutely can.
If we could give him an avatar body, he would have won this thing.
I mean, what was he, 1 over going into Saturday?
Yeah.
And I mean, and at one point there was 4 guys tied for 6 under on Sunday. A healthy Tiger Woods is contending in this year's Masters with how difficult it was, with what the conditions were like, with who the guys were at the leaderboard. He would have loved to be in the mix with all those big names. If he was healthy, he was at 1 over on Friday going into Saturday. If that man's back was allowing him to strike the ball the same way it did on Friday, he would have posted a couple under. He would have been like 1 or 2 under going into Sunday. He definitely would have been in the mix. I know it's crazy to say because he shot 82, but he couldn't move. It was hard to watch. He couldn't physically move his body.
This is where technology needs to go, because if they advance fast enough and give athletes the chance to get into like an avatar type healthy body, we could see Jack versus Tiger. You know what I mean? Like, because in there, Jack's still got it. Jack's like, you know what I mean? Like, Jack's in there like, he's just got this fucking body that's 85
right.
years old, and he's like, fuck this, man. I'm Jack Nicklaus, dude. Are you
Dan,
kidding?
not only do we think Tiger could contend, we think Jack Nicklaus could contend. Like, you're talking to some people here that we got pretty.
I feel like I'm taking
aggressive
crazy pills. You guys are talking about.
Hey, Dan
like,
Rappaport, welcome to the welcome to the new
Tiger
spin,
Woods.
motherfucker. It's his
Wins
body.
the
It's not
tournament.
him that's wrong.
Yeah, he's fine.
That's part of it.
No, I know. I know. But I was just asking for him to stay the same way he was 24 hours. It's not like I'm asking him to go back to fucking 2001. I'm asking him to just do what he did yesterday. Like, it wasn't that far-fetched to be like, just continue to play the way you're playing right now and you will contend to win this Masters. He was a completely different person. And I get playing 23 holes after playing 13 holes the day before really sucked, but fuck. I mean, it sucked.
Yeah. No, but that's what happens when you get older. It's just like the recovery's not there. So you can, my guess is he really pushes for the first 36 in terms of like getting ready for the tournament. You know, I'm going to 24 straight cuts. I'm going to get this record. I don't know if he thinks that way. I feel like he probably does at some point. Like, and then once you get into the 54 and the 72 holes, I just think it's a roll of the dice. And when his body feels like shit, he's going to play like shit. That just is what it is.
Yeah, I just meant his pure golf game. From what I saw, I think he's close enough, or could be close enough, that if he was perfectly healthy, he could play some really good golf. Clearly, that's not going to happen right now because of his health, which is massively debilitating, which sucks. But he's going to play the PGA. I'll probably bet on him to win that. So who the hell knows? A tee shot in the rough, an approach clanking off the flag, someone yelling, "You the man" at this week's tournament. Get in on all of the tee to green action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting operator of the PGA Tour. From round one Thursday through the closing round Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same game parlays, live betting, odds, boosts, and so much more. When it comes to golf, you could do head-to-head matchups. You could do hole-in-one. We're going to do for the cut, which we usually get into. There's all kinds of good stuff on the DraftKings Sportsbook. And I know we kind of allude to it this week, but I had a good $2,500 bet on our good friend Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, one of the two of them, to win the Masters. I think it was plus 250 is what it happened. Obviously, Scottie ended up winning. I saw a bunch of people responding to that. Don't you wish you wouldn't have had Rory on there? Well, that's just not how it works. That's just not how it works. You can't look at a bet that hits and then be like, oh, I wish I would have taken it differently. A bet hits. It's great. Changes everything. We love DraftKings.
It's amazing. I went 3 for 4 this week.
Oh,
It's like you go into the Masters, you have all these thoughts, you have all you're going down the list of all these things. I went big on Scottie, and I sprinkled in a little bit of something on Will Zalatoris top 10, and then you have a Scottie, Rahm, and Rory. One of them has to win, and so you just hit those three, and you're like, I don't even care. I had a future on Phil Mickelson top 10. It's like, come on, this is the DraftKings app. 3 out of 4. We are rolling into RBC Heritage Week. We are rolling into the playoffs. We've got a lot of fun things coming up. I love having the app. The interface is incredible. It's so smooth. It just lets you know right then and there what's going on. What are the updated odds? Are you winning? Are you losing? The best.
I had Tiger to birdie the first hole of the tournament, and that hit plus 600.
That's
that was my big one of the
you
week.
had that.
That was a great one.
Awesome.
Brooks Koepka, not so great, but Tiger Woods to birdie the first hole in round one. That was a good one.
That's amazing that you had that. It is a big week this week on the PGA Tour, the RBC Heritage. You two are going to be there. It's an elevated event, so a lot of guys are going to be there. So get involved. Enjoy yourself. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FORE. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code FORE, F-O-R-E, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Trent, we got to talk about your boy. Unfortunately, it's been a crazy fall. a crazy fall from grace over the last year. It feels like Zach Johnson with just an all-time. The clip I didn't even really mind that much, where they put it out for like triple, and the fans were kind of sarcastically, or the patrons, I should say, were kind of cheering as he put it out, and he on camera gave a clear, very clear fuck off to the patrons, and then gave an all-time weird answer when he was asked about it in the same like ramble and rant answer. He said, that's laughable. What are they saying that I said? They're like, they're kind of saying you told the patrons to fuck off. And he was like, that's laughable. And then in the same sentence, he said, but if they do have it on camera, obviously I can't deny it. But like, it was one of the weirdest answers I've ever heard in my life. And I'll let you're our Cedar Rapids guy. You're the biggest Zach Johnson fan in the world. I get why. It was a tough sequence of events for your boy.
Well, the truth is the Ryder Cup broke him. That's it. Like, yeah. I can get up here, hem and haw, and be like, we both are from Cedar Rapids. We grew up in the same town. We both love Casey's Breakfast Pizza. We both love the Hawkeyes. Those things are true. But what's also true is that the Ryder Cup broke him. That was a team that largely all you have to do with that team is just pick the right guys, which he did to, there's some controversy around that, but I think he picked largely the right guys, do the right pairings, which he probably didn't do, and then be like a locker room guy. It's a dominant team at Whistling Straits that you're being handed. You're being handed a dominant team that waxed in the 2021 Ryder Cup. And for that not to work, it broke him. And he wasn't, and ever in his mind did he prepare for his life to be, I am a losing Ryder Cup captain. He won the 2007 Masters. He won the 2015 Open Championship. He is now the guy for the Ryder Cup. And you're thinking, all right, this is how my career goes, where it's all great. It's all rainbows and flowers. I'm going to win the Ryder Cup, and that's just what I'm going to be. I'm going to be Steve Stricker with 2 majors. And then you lose that Ryder Cup, and you just cannot handle the backlash because you weren't expecting it. The way he gets treated now with the waste management, the way he gets treated at the Masters, wherever he goes, he is going to get shit for this, and he was not ready for that. And he's still not ready for that. The way he handles it, he's not ready for it.
Netflix really did not do him any solids. Like with the way they portrayed him and the whole process, and him being best friends with Ricky and JT, I think people felt really bad for Keegan.
He also didn't do himself.
He didn't
do himself any favors with that either. Like, you can't be staying with the guys that you're supposed to be like objectively choosing between, and you're staying with some of them and you don't even talk to the other ones. Like, that's, he
lived his life as a guy who was going to be a winning Ryder Cup captain, and that was basically going to be the cherry on top of an incredible career. Instead, he loses in humiliating fashion, and he just doesn't know how to handle it. That's bottom line. He has no idea how to handle people who heckle him, people who talk shit to him, and he says, oh, I'm not on social media, so I don't see it. It's clear that you're not on social media because you don't know how to handle this, because the worst way to handle something like this is to handle it the way he's handling it and react. If you don't react, they have nothing. But if you react, people are going to continue to react like that when they see you at golf tournaments. That's the truth. Is he doesn't know how to handle any of this.
Yeah, his brain is broken. I mean, it's not like he's getting heckled about the Ryder Cup at the Masters. He just made a really bad score on a golf hole. People they gave him the Bronx cheer kind of, where they cheered him after.
It is.
Right, which they're not. Like at every tournament, they're not like, you were the captain of a losing team in the Ryder Cup. And
there might be some. There might be some.
Yeah, I think like some of them are probably just like, fuck you, Zach. And just like they do for all these guys, there's one drunk guy in the crowd that says something, and he's like, they're disrespecting my family. You did. Like he's going nuts. He's fucking losing himself.
He has no idea how to handle this.
His brain's broken. Yeah. That was on 12, right? He screamed back on Heaven's Green. He just screamed "fuck off" to the entire crowd. A place that he's won. It's like that's a broken brain. Not one person brought up the Ryder Cup behind the 12th tee box. Not one.
No.
I do think people probably I bet the patrons do say things more unsavory than people think, because it just gets protected and it would never get out there. And we have this image, but it's drunk golf fans at both events, right? Like, it's just drunk golf fans at Augusta that are also at the Phoenix Open. Like, it's definitely a different clientele overall, but it's people drinking and probably said some shit here and there. And you're exactly right. Like, his brain's broken. it wouldn't be that hard for him to just ignore it. Or even if he did do the fuck off thing afterwards, be like, I just made a triple. I was very upset in the hole.
Yeah.
Who knows what I said at that point? My bad. Everybody would be like, oh, all right, that's not a big deal. But man, when he handles it the way that he handles it, it is true. It's broken his brain. I think you're right in that, like, he really didn't sign up for this. You do go in being like, I play golf, I hit golf shots, I win at the Masters, I win at St. Andrews, I'm an icon, this is great. And then all of a sudden you're picked, you're not great at it. A couple things that people now pick apart because the team lost, and people are fucking mean to him. And it's just like us, we live on the internet. When he gives back, when he snaps at the Phoenix Open and then snaps here, that just makes people want to heckle him, because they're like, I'm going to get to this guy. And they get to the guy, and it's a vicious spiral. So I did that clip. He doesn't know how to handle those. It reminded me of all the interviews that he did during the Ryder Cup in Rome, where it's like he just wasn't saying the right things in interviews. And he's so bad at that. And boy, in that moment, he's doing the high shoulders thing. Like, as soon as they ask him the question, he's like, I don't even know what exactly are these guys even referring to here. And you're just like, whoa, dude, all right. You told everybody to fuck off on the 12th green of the Masters. That's what they're referring to. So yeah, I think it just broke his brain. Hopefully his brain gets fixed and he comes back to life.
I don't think it's gonna.
Trevor Immelman, man, the king.
Wow.
Trevor Immelman is our king. He had, in the peak of Masters coverage, one of the most dramatic holes that there is, probably the single peak moment of golf broadcasting in any given year. They pan to 15. They're doing the flyover, and Trevor Immelman drops, for our guy Trent Ryan, the saddle reference heard round the world at the biggest moment of the golf tournament today.
Alex Bush, before Trent talks about this, can we put in this audio? First, the audio of us saying, can you say it?
This year on the Masters broadcast, don't be afraid to say that the 15th green at Augusta is like hitting up onto a saddle. Don't be afraid to do that.
I know. Trent, listen, I have to formally apologize to you, because I said last year about this time on this podcast that I thought that was a great idea and I was going to use it. And I just flat out choked, Trent. There's no other way for me to put it. I mean, I just choked. I had various opportunities, and it was in my brain, and it was on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't get it out. I just couldn't get it out.
Yeah, I feel like part of it is the pressure that you want to give me credit for it on the broadcast. You do not have to do that. You can just say it and claim it as your own. People will know where it's from. You don't have to be like, oh, this guy, just say the word saddle. And again, no pressure, but if you feel the opportunity and you see it, pull the trigger, my man, and we'll all know where it came from.
Okay, it's back in play. It's back in play. I've got a couple more weeks to build up my confidence, and hopefully I've got the guts this time.
And now, what he did on Sunday of the Masters during the flyover of the 15th hole as the leaders were marching down it.
To a green complex that reminds me of a saddle down at the bottom of the
He did it!
All right, so Trent, that's
Yeah, if you've been following this podcast for the last 2 years, you know this journey. I brought this up to him. We usually have Trevor on to preview the Masters because he's a Masters champion. He tells us all about it. He's incredible, and he's always great to have on. And 2 years ago, I had said, the 15th green kind of reminds me of a saddle, and something snapped in his brain where he was like, I like that. I'm going to use that during the broadcast. So that year, 2 years ago, we were on pins and needles for however many days, just listening to Trevor Immelman be like, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? We go 4 days, never happens. So then we have him on just a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago, being like, and I was like, hey man, don't be scared to say that the 15th green at Augusta is like hitting up onto a saddle. And I said to him, and I think this is important, during that interview, I said, do not give me credit. I don't want credit for it. All I want is you to say it, because everyone who listens to the podcast and follows us is going to know. Because I'm sure in the back of his head, he's thinking, I'm Trevor Immelman. I just got this chair a couple years ago. This is one of the most important and most prestigious jobs in golf. I don't want to be on the Masters broadcast on Saturday or Sunday and say, Barstool Trent said that the 15th green at Augusta looks like a saddle. He's going to get phone calls left and right. He might be fired by the time the broadcast is over. So when I said, don't give me credit, just say it, I think that pushed him just enough to be like, okay, since all I have to do is say it, that's less pressure. And then he fucking said it on Sunday at the Masters, where I can't wait to see the numbers when they come out to see how many people were watching, because it's going to be a lot. And he said it. He was like, oh, he's working his way through the drone shot on the 15th hole, and he gets to the green. He gets to the shot, right? The approach shot to the green. And he takes a pause and he says, looks like hitting up onto a saddle. And I went crazy. I went fucking crazy. So shout out to our guy, Trevor Immelman. The fact that he did it, he is our guy. He was our guy before that. He's our guy now forever. We love you, Trevor Immelman. Just a huge, huge moment for the squad.
So I filmed my reaction live. I knew it was coming. I felt it.
Really?
Oh yeah. I said to my dad, to Hannah, my mom was in the next room. I said, this is it. Because I had talked about it earlier in the broadcast. I was talking to everyone. I'm like, that 15th hole, once we get there, like Trevor Immelman's got to say it. Like it was in the back of my mind. And when I saw that drone start and that he was calling it out, because I don't know that he always does it every time, right? Like it was his time to do the 15th
Right. He might
green.
have grabbed the baton right there and been like, I'm doing this.
And I got my phone and I filmed. I mean, I ended up editing it to just to when he did it, but I was filming for the whole beginning. I'm like, this is it. I had a huge smile on my face. And when he said it, my reaction, it was like the Islanders won the Stanley Cup. I went nuts. I lost my mind. I can't believe he did it. I really can't. I can't.
I also think I gave him a little bit extra. So I had tweeted about the natural sound and been like, no announcers. This is phenomenal. I love watching the Masters like this. And he tweeted at me being like, no announcers, then you get no saddle. And I tweeted back at him and I said, in every version of the broadcast so far, there have been no saddle mentions, even the one with the announcers. So I wanted to give it to him a little bit to be like, you got to say it. And then he fucking said it. And I can't believe it. My mom was texting me. She was going crazy. She's like, I can't believe that you made something happen on the Masters broadcast. It's stunning.
Most wild part of the whole entire scenario was that he texted me, Trent, and Riggs and said, just gave you your saddle, Trent, while they were hitting shots.
Stunning.
Instantly.
Yeah, he texted me too, just separately.
That
was
was
the
the
craziest
craziest text from Trevor Immelman during the Masters. That was insane because I was like, that's live. He's like,
in the
he's there. He's calling it.
He nailed it. What a goddamn hero that guy is. I can't believe he said
next
it.
to me when Trevor Immelman texted me. He goes, my dad goes, that's fucking nuts. Because we're listening to this guy.
It is.
And I'm like, he's saying the things that we told him to say. He's our puppet now. Maybe, like, I don't know what else can we make him say?
Well,
what else can we get Trevor Immelman to say?
To be fair, we've probably had him on this podcast 10 times, and one time he's been like, that was useful golf information.
He's the best, man.
True.
He's out and he's so good at his job, and his voice is so synonymous with the Masters now. How special is that? When you hear Trevor Immelman talking about what it takes to win because he knows personally, and what it's going to take to get that ball into the right position because he knows personally, and his voice and his cadence, and when he knows to come in, it's a dance. I think he said that on our show before. Like, it's a dance to know when to go in, when to go out, when to stop, when to go, when to be beautiful, when to be sexy, when it's fucking, he's amazing at it. Another guy that was born for it. He was born to wear the green jacket and then talk about it.
His accent is perfect too. It's so soothing, the entire thing. So yeah, he does a fantastic job. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It can be easy, very easy to ignore our social battery and spread ourselves thin, especially with social gatherings picking up after the winter. What's the right amount of socializing for you? How do you recharge? Maybe you thrive around people, or maybe you need some more alone time. Therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. If you're thinking about getting into therapy at all, give BetterHelp a try. This stuff is incredibly important.
You can learn about yourself.
Talk it out.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way. I like that intro because it's true. There's things about you that you have no idea that are going on. So if you talk about them to someone who can look at it from a different vantage point, I think that would help you a lot. That would help a lot of people, I would imagine.
Think about the golf swing where it's feel versus real, where you feel like you're doing something and you're like, oh, why is the result not coming out the way I want it to do. I feel like I'm making the right pass at this golf ball. I'm taking it back the right way in my head. And then someone takes a video of you or someone analyzes your swing and they're like, you're doing the complete wrong thing. Or maybe this one thing you're doing in your swing, you don't even feel it. You don't even know that you're doing it the wrong way, but look at it on video, dude. You're missing it. Like, that's happening in your brain as well. You're just going about your day thinking things are going the way they're supposed to be going. Things might not be going your way. You got to talk about why that's happening.
It's entirely online with BetterHelp, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/4 today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/4, betterhelp.com/4. I know we kind of mentioned Ryder Cup earlier. We talked about it, and Zach Johnson and Scottie getting his kind of big breakthrough when he took down Rahm at the Ryder Cup. Tiger basically said he was going to be the Ryder Cup captain in his press conference this week. He was asked about it. He kind of gave a little smirk and was like, yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that right now, or whatever the hell he said. He basically just said he's going to be the Ryder Cup captain in Bethpage next year, which I think kind of flew under the radar.
He's going to be such a funny, amazing, the most passionate Ryder Cup captain. That guy, given how much he respects and idolizes the military, they're probably all going to be wearing earpieces. You know what I mean? Like, the communication lines in that team are going to be adequate. The preparation, every guy will get like a VR simulation of the first. Like, he's going to be a Ryder Cup captain like they've never seen before.
Yeah, I mean, it's also going to be the most must-win Ryder Cup in history for those guys playing on that team. You cannot be out there on the Ryder Cup team at Bethpage in New York playing for Tiger Woods on home soil and not win. That team has the most pressure of any Ryder Cup team in history, and they're just coming off a loss. That's going to be tough. Whoever's on that team has a tough week ahead of them because you can't fucking lose. You cannot lose for Tiger Woods.
You can't.
Scary.
Wow, I thought we all just froze there. That was wild. I looked at all three boxes. Not one person even blinked. I know Danny's been having tough service because he's actually at the Masters, and I'm sure every single person in that media center is on some sort of podcast or talking to someone across the globe. But that was weird. If you got,
well, I think we all cleared.
Trent, I thought you stopped. I everything stopped in my world. I actually looked around to see if I was still alive.
I think we cleared the runway for Dan because Dan's on a bit of a delay. They probably cut it out in post, but Dan is on a bit of a delay, so I think Riggs and I stepped back for Dan there, and then I think he froze, and we were just like,
I think I need to raise my. I'm gonna raise my hand if I have something to say this time.
Because Alex texted me, our producer who's on the show, he's texting me about things about the show, so I'm sending a text. I looked up, everything was silent, and I go, "Oh God, it's over for me. I'm dead." You know, he's got to win the Masters, and everyone that's playing for him has to win.
Ryder Cup, you mean, and the Masters.
Yeah, the Ryder Cup. He's got to win the Masters.
I agree with that.
Fuck, man. Just a great day, a really good day. It always just delivers, man, no matter what. I don't care when it is. I don't care if it's in the fall. I don't care if it's in the spring. The Masters is incredible. Everyone that watches it, even your wife, my mom, every single person that looks at the screens, that place is different. What's going on there? You know, golf's on every week. Every time you go past one of our TVs, it's on. This one just hits. It just hits. Like Trent said, it's porn.
How about Bryson this week? I feel like it's kind of amazing how much the public has flipped on that guy. I felt it myself. I feel like everyone loves Bryson now. Walking around with him, he was one of the most popular players. All the stuff about, the par 67, he really handled that like a pro. He said, listen, you make mistakes. About the YouTube stuff, he's like, yeah, I just, I like this community. I like growing golf. A lot of people talk to me about it. He designed his irons. I feel like Bryson, the stock, weirdly enough, he went to live, and then there was a lot of sort of backlash initially, and now I feel like he's back in the good graces.
It was good to see him. I missed him. We talk about it on the show a bunch, but when Live happened, a lot of the guys who were interesting and polarizing is probably the word, they jumped for obvious reasons. And what you come to find is having an opinion about somebody is a good thing. It's especially for the sport that you're watching. And Bryson was one of the more polarizing guys, and he just went away, and he's happy because he's got $100 million now or whatever he got paid. So he's not, causing a stink. He's not on the big tournaments because he's not on the PGA Tour anymore. So seeing him out there doing weird shit, getting his irons 3D printed, like dancing, like swaying in the fairway, like that shit's awesome. So I think you almost don't know what you have till it's gone with Bryson. What?
Yeah, he's just.
He's carrying the sign. Yeah, that was crazy.
Sign around. He's like holing out for birdie on 18, and he goes nuts when he did it. So I'm with you. I thought the same way. I thought he came off very sympathetic. Now he's much more appreciative. It feels like he himself goes through roller coaster phases with the fans and the media. It feels like, and yeah, ever since he went to live, whenever he has popped up, he like when he shot that 58. I remember all the interviews he was doing. He came off great. And I got the same feel, even through my TV. I could feel that Bryson, he had the support of the crowd. It was almost better. Like he's so different of everything. The way that he putts with that rigid kind of setup that he's got with the irons, and he customized and 3D printed or whatever the fuck it was, his irons. Something about him's always different. So seeing him up there playing that well at a place where they always say that this is kind of like a spot where he's not going to probably be able to do well because it's creative and it's artistry meets science, and he's more of the science guy. I love seeing him up there. The live showing in general was actually, they had 3 guys in the top 10. They had Cam Smith and Bryson were T6. Tyrrell Hatton was T9. All the guys in the top 5 are obviously tour guys, but not a horrific showing from live. If you kind of look at the numbers, probably it was looking like it could have been a little bit dicey, but Cam Smith played well. Obviously Bryson held on. Tyrrell Hatton with the T9, but yeah, I'm with you. I think Bryson now, when he's in this kind of mindset and he's got that kind of attitude with the fans and everybody else, I was rooting for him. I like when he was still ripping dry. It's funny that he got crazy beefed up and became this wild hitter. And that clip from him on the range a couple of years ago at the Masters when VJ was just watching him was all time. And now he's not even crazy beefed up, and he's still piping the absolute golf ball. So I like watching him out there. I thought he was great.
I think like you mentioned the fact of being different. He said this on Thursday. I was talking in the press conference, and he was saying, I've always been different. And that kind of made me like sympathetic, right? Like, I think this is a kid who just never like really quite fit in. And I think now he's found a community really online, which is fine. That's how a lot of Gen Z, like, they find community this way. I think he's found an arena where he feels welcomed and appreciated. And he didn't have that in his life in 2020 when he was playing on the PGA Tour and everyone was, he was a center of attention. He just seems like a much happier person. Obviously, $150 million will do that, but he's doing the YouTube stuff, which he loves. He loves that world. And I think he's finally sort of, I think everyone has a process of growing older and just becoming more secure with yourself. It feels like that's where he's at. He's 30.
Still a weirdo, but it was nice to see him play well, I guess. He's just a weird guy. He's always been a weird guy, I guess. Like, him picking up that thing is so fucking weird, but it's
He's
just
weird
so Bryson.
Sure.
It's so Bryson.
Well, I miss him.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
I mean, he picked up it was like a 40-pound sign that had like every direction of where patrons can go. He just was like walking, like he could have gotten that done from somebody, but he had to pick it up. And the memes were all time. They were very funny. Bryson in the mix is definitely good. It's still, for me, was like an anybody but Bryson leaderboard. And I don't know like why that just happens, but like, I just didn't want him I didn't want to see him win over a lot of the guys up there. You had so many guys that I truly were rooting for. And that's just always going to be it with me and Bryson. It's like those ups and downs, but I mean, you can't tell me that you wanted him to win the Masters. Did you?
I kind of wanted him to win the Masters. I mean, I don't try not to root for people like outwardly, still keep a semblance of, but I wanted him up there. I think for content purposes, he's incredible for like the little TikTok videos I'm trying to make. I mean, we're doing milli bangers when we talk about Bryson. But yeah, no, it's, right. he moved that sign, and he's just, it's never like down the middle. It's never simple.
You also like came yourself when Matt Fitzpatrick won the U.S. Open, so I don't know that you're out there like not rooting for people.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's true.
We all root for people, right? I mean, when you're watching the tournament, it's like hard not to root for somebody over somebody else. So I would agree probably with Frankie on that part. Like, I was rooting for him to be in the mix, but if he would have had a Scottie like take over the back nine and win pretty easily, like, I wouldn't have loved that. I was rooting for Max over him. I thought Aberg was awesome. It was hard not to. Colin, we've done a bunch of stuff with. So I would kind of agree with that. But I did just think it added some juice and excitement. And it made me tune in and be like, what's Bryson up to now throughout the entire weekend? I just kind of wanted to be in the know on what Bryson's doing. And I don't know that everybody kind of delivers that.
I definitely wasn't rooting for him to win the Masters, but I wasn't rooting against it either, because there are amazing things that would come from him winning. Just more cameras on him is better. And I want to just see him more.
That's true.
He'd serve
That's it.
30
Like,
protein
he-
shakes
he
at
would
the
be-
champions dinner.
Right. Like, what would his Champions Dinner be? Like, who fucking knows what it would be?
Yeah.
That's that type of stuff
I guess for
like.
me, it was more like the field was so great.
It's a great leaderboard.
It was
Yeah, it was.
great leaderboard. God, I just, aside from the Dave bet, like I couldn't wrap my head around what I was truly rooting for. You know, it was like there were so many cool things that were happening at one point.
You know who I was really rooting for at the end? And it seemed like the broadcast, they weren't rooting for him, but they were giving him a lot of camera time when it didn't seem like he was right. Like Tommy Fleetwood, they kept
Yeah.
showing him. And I was just like, just make a birdie, make an ace on 16.
Yeah.
Like get to 5, get to 6. I really want that guy to win a major. I love him
Well,
so
that
much.
angle with the local caddy too. He had the local caddy on his bag, Gray Moore, his big guy, the guy who accosted me at the United States Open last year, was sick, couldn't caddy. And so he gets a local caddy, posts his best ever finish in the Masters T3, and that caddy is going to make like 80 grand for the week. So what a week for Gray Moore.
That's amazing.
That's such a good story. Good for Tommy. Tommy's so likable. He's such a fan favorite. I feel like everybody loves
Even
Tommy.
his
He's
clip
nice.
with Dan was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was using the TaylorMade the peach balls too, which I love seeing whenever they zoomed in close on him. He's just using like whatever the new TaylorMade design ball, because they do all the customization, the kind of Masters Week one. So I love that he was using that. We got to talk about Ludvig and his power bar when that fan knocked the power bar out of his hand. That was crazy. That was a huge turning point. He went on and made a double 2 holes later. Kind of a wild moment. He did end up having more food out there, so he snacked his way through it, no problem. But Ludvig is, you can't really harp on it enough. The fact that a year ago he's playing in college tournaments and then he's out there. I don't know how the hell. It's like those guys from Scandinavia, like Hovland, I feel like is similar. They just got big smiles on their face all the time. Guy makes double on 11. They panned him and his caddy walking off the green. He's got a huge smile on his face, just kind of enjoying it out there. So he has a great attitude. He's earning a ton of fans. Skavron, who's his caddy now, was Ricky's guy forever. He was with he was with Tom Kim for a little bit. He's now on the bag with Ludvig, and they seem to be an awesome team. So hard not to root for Skav. He's a big Scottsdale guy. So seeing them out there, and that was a great pairing too, because the fact that it was Skav and Joe Greiner, who's obviously Max's caddy, are incredibly close. The 3 of them. Ludvig, I imagine, is getting close with those guys too, since his caddy's boys with those guys. So I think that was a comfortable pairing. So watching those guys kind of hang in there until obviously the mistakes on 11 and 12 was fun. But Ludvig's a fucking problem. That guy's a machine. Everybody talks about his golf swing. Everybody that knows about golf swings. I think it was Brando or somebody was calling it like a combination between Adam Scott and Scottie Scheffler, which if that's true, that's a problem. So he's really, really fucking good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it'll be the last time that they go head to head.
No.
Yeah. He on 13, he had that really long putt, I think it was, where he almost made the eagle, where you're like, if he makes this,
We're going to
just
7.
puts way more pressure on Scottie to come in here with a little bit more oomph into these next couple holes, where you're not gonna be able to just go middle green. You're gonna have to maybe make a couple birdies. He ended up doing that anyway, but he's a machine, man. If you were on Scottie and you were betting on Scottie, I know like a lot, or betting on Max. I know Big Cat was tweeting a lot about Ludvig. He's a problem. He was never going to waver. It didn't feel like he was ever going to make that mistake. And for him to do that at 23 years old, this was his first major. I know he played at the Ryder Cup and he did great, but to be able to perform like this on a golf course, on a stage where they say historically you really have no chance to do that.
Right.
Phenomenal showing, laughing on the 18th hole. He was in the fairway bunker and Skavron like gave him a line because it's such a deep bunker. He's like that water tower. And then like right before he hit it, he's like, wait, which one? And they're like, he's like, the one on the left. He's like, no, the one on the right. And he's like, oh, and then like he like laughed it off. He almost hit the shot at the wrong line. Did you guys notice that? He genuinely almost committed to the first one and then was like, wait, that doesn't look right. And then laughed. Like he was completely just in his own kind of headspace. And he did that it would have been an iconic like turnaround to the fans where he hit that one long putt and just went like, he did that weird smile with just a 1. He's like, 1. And like, I was like, that's kind of scary. This guy's a psychopath. It wasn't a fist pump.
Yeah,
it was just like he held up a 1 to everybody. It wasn't a hole in one. He was just like 1.
he's by all accounts a very nice kid, but he does have a little bit of like Bond villain type vibes where it's like he's 6'3". He's got like a very sharp jawline. Yeah. He's this sort of Scandinavian guy who just like doesn't have a pulse, and it's like, well, why isn't he reacting?
Yeah. No, he definitely walks to the golf course with a very silver metal suit, like a briefcase. And I don't know what's in it. It's a button that he can press that launches missiles, or like if he's talking to you, you fall into like a shark pit.
He's got a very clear, I thought, like a difference between guys that, like Max, for example. Max is not old, but he's older. He's 10 years older than Ludvig. Like, there's certain guys who get in contention and you can sense that they feel like they're not going to get that many chances, where it felt like he was out there giggling his way through it, being like, I'm going to be doing this all the time. This is fine. Whatever happens.
I got 25 of these going forward. He's got so many more Masters to go, and he's probably going to win like 3 of them.
Right. So he's like giggling his way through of being like, yeah, we're learning and we're just going to destroy people next year. Not that big of a deal.
It's a big if, but if it's a big if, obviously, but if he doesn't go in the water on 11, who knows? Like, he could have won this thing.
I know.
Fuck.
God, Colin too. He was looking so good.
Who says you cannot earn rewards if you're staying in a vacation rental? With Vrbo, you can book a vacation rental for your next golf outing and earn 2% cash back towards your next vacation through the One Key Rewards program. So relax knowing that during your next golf trip, you can stay in a vacation rental and actually get rewarded for it. Look, Vrbo's just amazing. It's great. It's also fun. It's fun to go on Vrbo, look at a destination that you've been thinking about going to, and just scroll through the options, and you will be amazed at the options at these sweet places, homes, vacation rentals that you can book up, grab a group of friends, grab your family, your wife, whomever it might be, and just go stay somewhere and do something cool, because Vrbo has a trillion options.
I'll look at places I'm not even planning to stay, just to like look and maybe think about it. Like, once you start looking, you're like, oh, there's a bunch of places. Oh, I can go there. Oh, that's affordable. Look at this cool place. Look at this cool place. Just go on there and look, and you will have the time of your life and probably end up with a booked vacation by the end of it.
Yeah, a lot of times you get suckered into going to these big resorts or like the main hotel in the location. You're very limited as to what they have to offer, and you're in these tight little rooms. Go on Vrbo, see what the houses that are around, the big properties that people are keeping up with. They're keeping them updated. They're keeping them nice and clean. They have amazing properties overlooking lakes and mountains and right next to all the destinations you want to go to. It's an amazing app to go check out. When you're using all of your options for a vacation, Vrbo has to be number one. It has to be the first place you look, and then you look at everything else if it's not what you want. But give it a shot. Download the app. Make sure that you're using it.
Vrbo has 24/7 customer service. That means you can always talk to a live person anytime and get help before, during, and after your stay. So why deal with all kinds of BS when all you want to do is spend quality time with your golf buddies? With Vrbo, the host never stays with you, so you can relax knowing you'll get the whole home to yourself, no hosts in sight. Book your next private vacation rental with the Vrbo app. Go download the Vrbo app, VRBO. Book your next private vacation rental in the Vrbo app.
Max cracks me up, man. He sort of gives me a little anxiety. Like he walks, and I have a really bad posture, but he walks like a guy that's reminding himself to walk with good posture. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, he walks like he calls himself a caveman.
Yeah, he doesn't move his arms, I think. That's
it's like he's reminding himself, like, you're on TV right now and you're about to hit the biggest shot of your life. I feel like that's what he's saying. He looks like he's thinking that.
Yeah, no, there are certain guys who look like that, like Ludvig, who look like they're just out for a stroll. Max looks like he's doing something very mentally strenuous, and you can tell like him and Joe are both really fired up. Like when he made that putt for double bogey, it was like a 4-footer on 12. He picked it up out of the hole really quick. Him and Joe like give each other high fives. There's an intensity there that you don't see with other players.
And he does like the blinking and the very, very calm, just like walking, and you're like, that's not calm at all. But I know you're trying to come off calm. It's not calm at all for anybody watching.
Was he sort of doing the thing like as he was at a shot, he would bend over? Did you guys see
that?
I
noticed that.
I didn't know what was happening. I don't know if he would stay in that position, but he would sort of approach the ball, bend over, and then readjust his hands and hit the ball. I was stunned by that.
Yeah, it looked like a posture drill or something that he was doing to like get right before he would get into the posture, and then he did one waggle and then would hit every time. And I feel like that's new. I don't feel like I've seen that from him in tournaments past or prior.
I follow a local coach here on Long Island that like put up a video of Scottie at the range, and he hinted at Scottie does something similar to like, and I don't know Scottie's process, but it seemed as though Scottie spends a decent amount of time on like putting the club down and like feeling where it's supposed to be. It's like he's like putting it into the ground, holding it with one hand, and like maneuvering his body around, and he's just like feeling what like a 7-iron feels like against the ground. He was moving his body, and then he would grip it, and then he would talk to Ted, and then he would do it again. It's something that I do not pay attention to at all.
Scottie does the thing too where he holds his hands like this, where it's like the club is like a sword, and he's always standing there like looking at his hands, and then he directly goes down. I always want to ask him about that. He'll never talk to us again, but if we ever do get the chance to talk to him, he's always, if you see him on the range, he just holds his hands and the club is like a sword. It's amazing. And then
we did that video with Adrian on the TaylorMade tour truck, and he had that, was it like a 6-iron training aid grip on, or it was like something that he used on one of his long irons, and we never really talked to him about it. And I remember them saying if he ever comes on the show again to ask him why he has that as a training aid on premise all the time. I think he's a guy that's still trying to figure shit out, and he needs like little training aids and gadgets and gizmos and all this shit. And he's the best golfer in the planet. His feet are moving all over. He's fucking dancing, and he's winning Masters like crazy. He won't answer. I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna say congratulations, Scottie. I'm so proud of you.
Don't say the proud part. Don't do that.
I'm gonna say it. I really
don't do the proud part, because now the proud thing might come off as condescending.
I mean, truly proud of him. You know, I mean, it's like,
I know you are.
It's hard
I'm
that
with
you
you.
think that that's condescending, because I'm genuinely proud of the guy.
No, I'm not saying that you are being condescending. I'm saying, no offense, you're Frankie Borelli. He's Scottie Scheffler. He doesn't get like, he's like, he should be saying he's proud of you when you do something. You shouldn't be saying that to him.
So I asked Mark Blackburn why does Max do that, and he gave me just an absolute paragraph. I don't know how much you want of that, but
oh my god,
more hip hinge / pelvic tilt at address, bent over more to help accommodate his trail hip limitations, keep plane pitch higher in backswing, and maintain dynamic posture, aka ass back versus thrusting / early extending.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
So there's your answer,
man.
Is that new? I feel like I haven't seen that before. He was really exaggerating.
He said post West Coast swing until now, back to more of a fade pattern from late 2022 to early 2023 versus neutral / draw pattern from RBC 2023 through West Coast 2024. Lower handle at address and lower through impact, making face more stable for flat cut.
Is that him saying that, or is that Blackburn?
So this is Blackburn. I assume he sent me his notes from his phone that he has about what he's working on with Max from post West Coast to now.
Wow.
Interesting.
It was weird. It was like right at the last second, he would hunch a little, bend a little more, and it just looked, I don't know, it was different. But he played fucking great. So whatever Max is doing, he kind of figured it out. I get that same sense that you're talking about, Frankie, where it's like when they panned him and he was standing over the tee shot on 12, I just got the sense that he felt like the shot was important as we feel like it is on TV. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the other guys, I don't know what they feel like, but like, I don't know. It's just and that's a compliment to Max. Like, I feel like he's so aware. He's aware of social media. He's aware of golf history. He's aware of everything because he just comes off like a more normal dude who interacts with us. And so it would be like if Frankie Borelli was standing on 12T, I'd be like, oh, Frankie's got to be going crazy right now. He's about to hit the shot on 12. And then it's like you see Max, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, this is like the guy that I see at Chipotle down the street. He's about to hit this tee shot on 12 at the Masters that everyone's going to talk about forever. And you think that he's thinking that too. So, but yeah, credit to Max. I mean, he's proven to be huge in big moments at the President's Cup. Remember, he's making those putts. He's giving huge fist bumps at the Ryder Cup, and he got that up and down after taking unplayable and performed great at both of those. And now he's started to play better at the bigger events. This is obviously his best showing in a major. So hopefully Max kind of can figure it out. But yeah, Ludvig's a problem. That guy's like a goddamn machine, and he's going to be a problem for a long time.
Yeah. And honestly, to go back to finish on Max, there's nothing he can do physically that will change that. It's just, we know his personality. The whole world knows his personality. Yeah. And when you stare at him, that's just the way the world works. We know more about him than we know most about other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely. At the end of the day, it comes with all of that baggage of like, we know he's one of our boys now, and we just know like that must mean a lot to him. To guys like Ludvig, who's probably some sort of like double agent, and you've got like Scottie, who really doesn't give enough emotions off. We don't really know what they're thinking about because we're not spending time with them, and they don't let the world know on Twitter about like how they're feeling, and in their interviews they don't really let you know. Like Tiger has always been an amazing example of that, where you just think he's the Terminator because he never lets you in. You have no idea how Tiger goes about pressure. You have no idea what he's thinking about because he just says, I'm here to win and that's it. I don't give a fuck what you guys are talking about. But he's not tweeting about his swings and roasting other people. Like, that's just what Max is. He's a boy. He's one of your boys.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's nice. It's cool, but it's the
best.
In those moments.
If one of those guys wins the Masters,
anxiety.
It's like golf is changing. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna too. He's right there. But he's not like your prototypical golf guy. He really isn't. Even though he loves the game and he goes about it the way that he should, he's still just like one of the boys. He's fucking Max Homa, man. He's probably on part of my take right now, recording a podcast like right after the Masters. The guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, he is. Hopefully he gets back there because, God, I fucking love Max. All right. I got one question, and then we could talk about a little mini golf action. How many majors does everybody think Scottie's going to win? Because this happened before with certain players when John Rahm was on his tear. Spieth, even when he came out right away and won 3 majors over his first 3 or 4 years. Like Rory won 4 majors in 2 or 3 years and hasn't won whatever. So we go through these phases, obviously, throughout golf dominance. This one, I don't know why, and I know we've probably said this every other time, Scottie feels different. He has been this dominant for like 3 years now, and I know the putter let him down a little bit last year, so it's not like he got a million wins, but he's been number 1 in the world. He's now got a stretch where he's won 3 of his last 4 starts. The other time he finished tied for second. 2 of those wins are the Players' Championship and the Masters. Everyone knew he was going to win going into this week, and then he just fucking won by 4 shots, not even feeling like he's playing that well. This one feels different, and it feels like it's inevitable that Scottie Scheffler is going to be a top 10 player of all time. Like, I don't know what that number is, but how many majors is this guy going to win? Because he's unstoppable.
Yeah, I'll go first because I obviously didn't do mini golf, so I'll speak and then I'll let you guys talk and then I'll probably depart. But it's interesting. He has 2, Scottie has 2, and Colin. Scottie has 2, Rahm has 2, and Colin has 2, and they're all around the same age, between like 27 and 29. I'll say Scottie gets 7. No, 6. I'll say Rahm gets 5, and I'll say Colin gets 3. So I'll give you a couple bonus answers.
Whoa, you teleported forward there. What'd you say? You're a
How
little
many did you
choppy
say
so
Colin's
far.
going to get?
Sorry, I'll say it again. I'll say Scottie gets 6. The run's not going to last forever. He's not going to win every tournament the rest of time. I'll say Rahm gets 5, and I think Colin picks off 1 more. I think he finishes with 3.
Okay.
I think 6 is a very safe answer. I think that's probably the most believable. I'm going to shoot for the stars and say that this guy's he's going to play pretty consistent, dominant golf for a long time. If this swing and his ankles and his back, I know Trevor Immelman alluded to how is his swing and his body going to be able to handle the transitions of turning into like a 35-year-old? Is he be able to do this and move through the ball? Will he be this dominant with all of the club face being perfect, that impact, the whole entire deal? I'm going to say 8. I'm going to say 8 for Scottie Scheffler. And I don't think that's that crazy to say. He's so far better than every other person. He might win again this year. I mean, right? I mean, he's going to be the favorite going into every other major.
I'm sure it's certainly the next one. I also go back to something Trevor said. I mean, the run's going to end. They just do. They have to. There's just no way, unless he's Tiger again, and even Tiger, like, it's going to end. It's going to end at some point. Trevor did say something interesting about the swing in the same vein that you were just talking about, Frankie, where he was saying that the way that his footwork is and the way that his swing is, his hip opens up to a point where he stays in the perfect spot for way longer than everybody else because his footwork and his legs are so crazy. It just opens. And it's like, that's what allows you to be such a good ball striker. How many majors is he going to win? I think he wins another one this year for sure. But it's going to end. I'm going to go even more conservative than Dan. I'm going to say 5. Just because it's so hard and the game is so good and there's guys like Ludvig who are coming into the game. Like, it's not going to get any easier in terms of competition. So, as good as Scottie is, the runs always end. It just depends on how much he can squeeze out of his. And I think he ends up around 5.
Yeah, I'm torn between saying like 11 right now and going crazy, and also what you're saying, which is like 5 or 6. Which I mean, Brooks is at 5 already, but it is like Rory's not playing that great right now. You got to think he'll start to get it. Like Victor isn't playing that well, even though he was so dominant at the end of last year. So you do think like if those guys, once they start to turn it around, which they inevitably will, it's not like he can just go out there and win every tournament. He just can't. It doesn't seem like that is that sustainable. Right now, it feels crazy. I'm gonna say 7. I think he's gonna win like 7 majors, which would be incredible. That's more than Phil Mickelson's got.
Right. We're also
that would be an
we got to
insane
stop
number
and
of
think.
majors.
We got to stop and say like the numbers that we're saying are insane numbers. Like I get that he's really good, but to say 8, 5, 7, 6, like that's a shit ton of majors, and he is very good. But those are big numbers that would put him in a class with the greatest of all time, which he is on the way. But 5, 6, 7, 8 majors is a shit ton.
But it's not like he's just doing this thing where he's just peeling off a couple majors. It's like he won back-to-back Players Championships. He's now won 2 Masters. He's won 3 out of the last 4 tournaments. Last year he won, or 2 years ago, he won 4 tournaments in a row. And it's like, or 4 out of 6, whatever it was, where it was like,
he's insane.
It was, it's like this guy's just killing everybody. It's like,
over the
very
next
good.
3 years, from now until the next 2 years after that, there's going to be 11 more majors. Imagine Scottie Scheffler teeing off in every single one of them. I think
he's just
like the way that he played today.
The distance is between him and number 2 is enormous.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with it, but I do think we were saying those things about John Rahm 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
true.
the distance wasn't the same though. I don't think. Maybe it's because golf is so fractured and stuff. But like, who would you even say is second best in the world? It's hard with Rahm. Like when you play on Live, you get one chance really like per fiscal quarter to prove yourself, and you finish like 30th. So it's like who's number 2 right now?
And when Rahm was playing that well, Scottie was still there, and like there was always that talk of like Scottie and Rahm going at each other. Like Scottie's been here, man. He's been here for a while.
2 full years.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's also like how long can it last? It's fucking hard.
It's also
he's
like,
going into this major season like rising, and he already has 2.
This is
Like
the one.
guy,
this is the year where he could peel off 3, and
There's
I wouldn't be
3 more
surprised.
by July. You're right. This
I
is
know.
like the new rhythm. There's April, May, June, July. Like they're soon, and he's way better
Really
than
soon.
everybody.
This guy
Right,
is he playing this week? Is he playing at the RBC?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's designated event. He'll probably. I would guess he'd withdraw with the baby and all that stuff going on. But there's a big tournament this week.
Yeah, that's nuts that there's there's the RBC. It's elevated and the whole deal. The guy honestly didn't win 2 weeks ago, and he finished second by missing a 5-footer, and it was stunning that he didn't win, and he won the 2 starts before that and just won the Masters. So it's like if he doesn't win the PGA, I almost would say that would be shocking. That would
shocking.
It's
Right.
like,
What are his
who's gonna
odds going to be
win?
going into that? Like
That's a
plus
great
200?
question. What are his odds going to be? Hashtag DK partner. He's going to be he's got to be like plus 300, 350.
When's the last time a guy was plus 450 to win the Masters?
2013 Tiger Woods.
Right. Like, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, he's gonna win fucking third. He's gonna win 13 majors. I mean, this guy's like one of the best golfers of all time.
I know.
I think he's winning 19, dude. I think he's the new GOAT.
It's honestly got me thinking like 7 feels stupid low. He's gonna get to 7 like next spring. It's like, what do you mean
Right,
7?
yeah.
Fuck me.
But there's 7 more from now until next year, so it's like he's gonna win them all.
This guy's insane. Like, how would he not win? Like, I just don't. How is he
The
gonna
thing-
play 72 holes against other people and not just beat them? That's just what he does.
What we said up top, and I think Dan might even said it. What should scare people this week is he didn't play that great. Like it didn't feel like he was playing that great. So when he plays, he won by 4. He won the Masters by 4.
Dude, I had this reaction when he shot 64 at TPC Sawgrass. Was the scariest round I've ever seen, because I remember when Cam Smith shot 64 2 years ago, it was like he made fucking everything. It was like, holy shit, Cam Smith shot 64 at Sawgrass. When he shot that 64 at TPC Sawgrass, it was like, yeah, he played solid. You know what I mean? Like he played solid this week. He won the Masters going away.
I think Rory said that they played the group on Thursday, right? Thursday and Friday. Whoever, somebody who played with him, he was like, yeah, he's 600, but it felt like I didn't even watch a 600 round. I watched or whatever. I forget when it was. What did he shoot?
Yeah.
Whatever.
He said he's
Somebody-
so,
No,
he said he's so efficient with everything is how he said it, which I
Yeah.
thought was an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah,
He's good, man.
that was a good conversation I had with some friends about what was Rory's mindset after those first 2 rounds, because Rory, who really does hold himself as, we've always said Rory's A game is better than anyone else's. Here Rory is. It's not like he's that far off. He's ranked number 4 or 5 in the world. Like, he's Rory fucking McIlroy. Here he is playing with Scottie Scheffler, and Scottie didn't even have his best game, it felt like, and he fucking dusted Rory for 2 days straight. Like, just absolutely dusted him. And Rory outdrives him. And other than that, it's like pretty much everywhere, Rory has to just feel a little discouraged and emasculated, right? I mean, it's not like Scottie went out there and made everything and was hole in every chip, and therefore he kind of barely squeaked by and took down Rory this time. It was like Scottie went out there over 36 holes playing right next to Rory McIlroy, and it was just inevitable that Scottie was just going to dust him, right? Like, that's crazy.
It's like it can either motivate you or it can really make you very sad. I mean, I think this was going to be a tough one for Rory to swallow because he tried everything. Like, he kind of threw the whole playbook at the wall this year. I think he played 9 tournaments before playing in the Masters, which is like last 5 years he's definitely not done that. He obviously went go see Butch Harmon, and he showed up. He was the last guy to get to Augusta. He showed up on Tuesday morning. Like, he tried this year to change it up. And you're right. It's not only that it's his 10th time trying to get the career Grand Slam and not getting it. He's now played 16 Masters, hasn't won it, but you're right. He had a front row seat to the guy at the top of his game who didn't even flinch, and you're right, left him in the shadow.
It's just got to be tough. Be tough to take that one. The most prestigious golf courses in the country have trusted Imperial with the design of their headwear for over 100 years, and they remain the #1 headwear in golf today. Imperial original styles include the iconic High Crown Tour visor worn by golf legends for decades, including current PGA Tour pro Keith Mitchell. In addition to the Tour visor, Imperial has other iconic styles. They got bucket and performance hats that are perfect for any sunny day occasion. We love the rope hat on this very show. Frankie's showing it right now. Rope Hat Central. That's the one from Stream Song, which is fantastic. They just do an incredible, incredible job at Imperial.
Yeah, they fit great. That's the mid-crown one, I think it is. Yeah, the mid-crown fit. It's not too high of a crown. It's not too tight to the top of your forehead or the top of the crown. It's just it's becoming the iconic golf hat is what it's becoming. You just know. Riggs is holding it up right now. That rope, it's got a lot of integrity to it. It fits the head perfectly.
So much integrity.
The colors pop on them. All the stitching on them is just very high quality. Yeah, it's great. We've got a bunch of the Imperials in our own website and on the Imperial website itself. So make sure you go check them out. Imperial is just, it's just when you go to a golf shop, you go to a pro shop, any store, you know that's the top one to get.
Licensed collections made in partnership with all kinds of organizations are available on their site. They include styles with event logos for the WM Phoenix Open, the Players Championship, the President's Cup, the 2024 U.S. Open, the 2024 PGA Championship, and more. Imperial knows custom hats better than anybody. Customers can mix and match to design your own. That's design your own or upload a logo of your choice to custom.imperial1916.com to order custom Imperial headwear with no minimums, quick turn times, and free shipping. Shop all of Imperial's collections today at imperial1916.com. Use the code Barstool to get 20% off your first order and be on the lookout for Barstool Golf Imperial headwear coming to your local pro shop very soon. That is imperial1916.com. You got any other nuggets from Augusta, Dan?
Last thing I'll say, what do you guys think of Jason Day, the outfits, and getting told by Augusta to take his vest off?
I think it's crazy that they told him to do that. I think it's insane. I think if you go through the history of the Masters, like, I'm sure there's outfits that were just as outrageous. It feels like Augusta taking a stand against the cool guys in golf. It feels like there's this new, like, alternative brand fashion arm of the game of golf. And I feel like Augusta saw Jason Day in a Malbon outfit and was like, we're going to teach that guy a lesson. We're going to teach that whole brand and that whole new whatever a lesson. I kind of love that they told him to take it off, though. Like, that's incredible. What a tournament. That's how I feel.
The pants are outrageous. I mean, I know that that's the new style, and the more I did look at the picture that I tweeted out of him wearing like the white collared shirt and the really baggy blue pants, the more it kind of grew on me, where I'm like, that's actually kind of a sick outfit. But the way that they were whipping in the wind was just like outrageous to watch. Like it was a comedy show. It was a gong
cool,
show. Like,
but it was probably a competitive disadvantage.
It looked like he was gonna. I mean, it was the wind gusts were like 40 miles an hour. And when he was standing on the 10th green, it was laughable how much his pants were moving. And then I actually missed them because the next day he didn't wear the baggy pants, and you like couldn't tell how much the wind was whipping because you wanted his pants to show you. It's like a visual aid, but I mean, they're definitely cool clothes, and I know like a lot of the next generation is going to wear that type of stuff, and I don't really have anything bad to say about that. I just they seem like the kind of brand right now that's like making things so ridiculous so that you don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one actually thinks that Malbon vest actually is like the sickest thing ever. That was outrageous. It's like, and if you think like it's dumb, it's like you're an old geezer. Go put it on your New Balance.
Net positive or net negative for Malbon for the week?
Positive.
I was going to ask.
Super positive. Yeah, I think super positive, and I also think
Trent.
What's infuriating to me is like this: people were being so malicious about any opinions about it, and I'm like, dude, fashion is the whole nature of fashion is that people are going to have different opinions about it. If you have a group of 4 golfers in a foursome that are just 4 friends, every one of them is going to have a completely different outfit on for the most part. I mean, there's some generic ones, but like you got a guy who wears like checkered fucking shorts and matches his belt to his hat, right? And then you've got another guy who just wears pretty basic like khakis and a navy fucking polo tucked in with like a navy hat on. And then you got another guy who wears fucking joggers and has his shirt untucked and is wearing like a mock neck or so. People have different fashion, and that's fine. People were being like, if you said something negative about it, they were like, you're fucking, like, they were just attacking the shit out of people, which is, again, I think a net positive for Malbon. Like, they got people talking, and that's fine. I think it's crazy that Augusta made him take it off. Like, there were all kinds of pictures coming up over the last 30 or 40 years of people wearing crazy stuff out there, and they made him take it off. That was wild that they made him take it off.
Bizarre.
I think it was because it said Malbon Golf Championship, which is like, not to peel back the curtain too much, but a little too similar to Master. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just that it said Malbon in big letters. There was sort of like a golf tournament, part of it.
Yeah, it's just it was a little too much where it was like, if you don't think this is cool, you don't know what cool is, and that kind of pissed me off a little bit. But and the guy who like this guy Steve Malbon, I follow him on Instagram, and he just takes a bunch of pictures where he like doesn't want to like, he's like that got that cool thing, like he's like one of those older guys that's like trying to be like, go look at his last, go look at his last couple. It's like it's almost like someone's like, yo, Steve, take a picture. It's like, what?
What?
And like, that's like cool now. I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm gonna stand in front of the sign right now. I'm gonna say what?
I do, I think.
But he's also fucking killing it. I mean, we have Malbon clothes because they partner with TaylorMade. They're fucking incredible.
Yeah,
the way that their partnerships and their collaborations never miss. I mean, they are.
Malbon is like the most since I moved to LA and playing golf with like more LA, that is the number one brand that I see with like LA, like Hollywood people.
They are crushing it.
Yeah.
And if you followed the founder on Instagram, he was loving the negative press. Yeah. Because it wasn't even negative. Like, dude, he was posting every single article. It was like Forbes, New York Times, BBC. It was like everything. Malbon. Should Malbon be able to wear this? Should you be wearing this? Do you like this outfit? Do you not? It's like, bro,
dude,
fashion is like music where it's like
a fucking player. We should sponsor a player and put him in some wild ass shit at the Masters.
That's what they did.
Bro, that's the marketing play. Yeah.
Well, that's the old playbook. Barstool's done that forever. Like, when you cause controversy, you just screenshot the headlines and be like, look at this shit. And they're like, then you rally people around it. And at the end of the day, golf could use some cool guys. I like that there's cool guys in it. Let's bring them in. We can't
do the Josh Richards of the world, the Garrett
bring them
Clarks, in. The Bubbies. Like, those guys probably loved that he was wearing that, because that's their brand. That's like what they do, and that's fucking cool. I liked it. I just thought the wind whipping part was just hilarious.
Yeah, I liked the just the nature of it and what they were doing. I didn't like the vest. I could never wear that vest. I didn't like the
No.
parachute pants. I could never wear those parachute pants. But I like the overall like fact that they're just doing it, and he's wearing good for Jason Day, just wearing different shit. He said afterwards, he's like, yeah, that's just what they script me in, so I wear it. I don't know. How do you think this fucking works, guys?
Listen,
Like, you know,
I would wear the pants. I'm going to show up in pants like that one day. I will.
Okay.
The
Just to see
parachute
how it
ones?
looks.
I
Maybe.
like those pants. I wear loose pants only. I think they're great.
Yeah,
Maybe.
see, Dan's the guy only, not no offense to you, Frankie. Dan's the only guy
I'm
in our
gonna
group
try.
who could pull those off.
I would love to try.
I would look at you in them and tell you how I feel.
I thought
Yep.
net positive for them for sure.
I'm with
I
that.
thought
I'm
that's
with it too. I
exactly
thought-
what they're.
I like
That's
that
what
they
they're going for.
exist. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you the
I
pants
agree.
sold out too. That's just how the world works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Like
course.
the vest probably sold out. The pants probably
Bro,
sold out.
That's how it works. You got
If
people.
people don't hate your thing, then you're not doing enough.
100%.
You're not pushing the envelope enough. You're just vanilla.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
Nobody
they're gonna
wants to
sell
be
the
vanilla.
fuck out of those sweaters.
No doubt.
All right, Dan, we're going to talk about mini golf now.
You guys got the most to talk about. I played kind of like shit, but you guys had good rounds.
I mean, I'll leave it to Riggs at the end. I'll say my piece. It's like it was the most important thing. Like when you were in it, your heart was pounding. You wanted to win. Dave put $40,000 on the line, splitting it up 22, like whatever the math ended up
22, 10, 5, 3.
10, 22, 10, 5, 3, first,
Yeah.
second, third, and fourth. And you're playing against 35, 36 people to start this thing. Obviously, it's mini golf, so everyone has a chance. It doesn't matter if you're a golfer. It doesn't matter if you're Frank the Tank. It doesn't matter if you're Stu Feiner. It doesn't matter if you're Ryan Whitney. It doesn't matter if you're Tiger Woods. Like you're hitting into a toilet bowl at one point. A dude wipes toilet bowl. So like it was anyone's fucking tournament. And it comes down to a lot of people that do play golf. It was me, Riggs, Whitney in the end, Marty Mush in the end. And it was
Francis?
It wasn't Francis plays a lot of golf. Yep. It was intense. And you really get to see who can't handle it in terms of like me. We got to talk about Kirk for sure, but
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't handle the pressure, like on the 17th hole, like going shot for shot with you, Riggs, and going shot for shot, Francis.
But dude,
There was
you
a
were
putt
killing
where-
it. Like that fucking back nine. Like,
Yeah.
so if people didn't watch, and I will say, dude, being back in Arizona all weekend, I played golf after the Masters ended yesterday, and like 5 different people were like, dude, congrats on the mini golf showing like that. Like people were talking
It was
about it. It's
huge.
got credit to Dave and Big Cat, like putting like top 4 people getting a good amount of money, because otherwise Whitney killed everybody. He won by 10 or whatever the hell he won by, and it would have been no drama whatsoever. But you've got us, like regular people out there, putting for a difference of $5,000, $3,000. That's insanity. And we were saying, like, play a shit ton of golf. Even guys that I play golf with that love to gamble, you never have a putt for more than a couple $100, really, like ever.
Right.
Maybe, like even if somebody does a couple $100 Nassau or something and you end up pressing a little bit, maybe you've got a putt for $400 or $500, and even that would be crazy. Now you've got a putt in a mini golf thing on a fucking turf carpet thing in an office for like $5,000 or $10,000, and you're coming down the stretch. It was nerve-wracking. Like when we teed off, dude, and they announce you and you're live in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and you have to like putt this ball around and avoid all the trouble, and there's thousands of dollars on the line and your reputation's on the line, and you want to be in the mix at the end. Like every round I started off, my hands were sweating and like shaking, like
It
genuinely.
was insane.
You're fucking nervous. Like you want to be, and even like the money's a lot, but just as important as like, this is what we do for a job. So being in the mix of something that's going to be airing everywhere is the goal. Like you want to be a factor. You want to be involved in the drama. You want to be involved in the end of it. And so you want to like play well and put the heat on people. And every round that we played and teed off on, I was nervous as hell. And then like, so the final round, fuck me, there was like basically 5 of us for 4 spots, and someone was going to like miss out. And you were a couple strokes behind Frankie. And like putting is kind of my thing. So I'm like, okay, if there's one thing I'm going to do well at, I need to putt well. Marty, Francis, me, you are kind of fighting for these last 3 spots. And like in the middle of the back 9, you were out of it. Early back 9, you were kind of out of it. And then you go hole in one on like 12 and 13 or whatever it was to pick up 5 shots in 2 holes. And on those holes, I made like a 3 or something and like a 2. So all of a sudden I'm like, holy fuck. Frankie's got all the momentum. You're going crazy. People are going nuts for you. It feels like people are jumping off the fucking balcony going crazy for you. And it got incredibly intense to the point where we're pretty much tied with like 3 holes left. and anything could have happened. It looked like it was absolutely going to go to a playoff. At that point, I was like, I'm going to be the odd man out because you're red hot. Marty's ahead of me. France is ahead of me. And then the last 3 holes just got crazy. It's like I made a birdie on 16 when everybody else made like a 2 and somebody almost made like a 1. And then when we went to 17, literally any combination of things could have happened at that point, and it felt like the whole company was following us.
So I got through 16. I ended up making the 2, and it almost was a 1. It went right by the hole, and that would have been 3 hole-in-ones in a row. And it was like, so then I had the honors to go to 17, and I think me and you were tied at that point. Yep. And that's what I was saying to kick this part off was like, at that moment, I had to go over the bridge, which two rounds before that, for rounds 1 and 2, I opted to not go over the bridge. And then round 3, I went over it because it was round 3 and like I didn't feel the pressure as much. And I was like, let's just do it. So I went over it. And then round 4, I had to go over the bridge because I knew you were going to. And that moment right there where, yes, the hole-in-ones before, there probably was pressure on it, but I felt like I was out of it and I was just trying to make a run back. When I was first to go, where it had to do it, similar to like Max, you have to hit this green at the Masters. Yep. Not similar because mini golf and he's playing at the Masters, but like the same like mental thought of like, you have to get this over the bridge or else you lose. I've never in my life felt myself decel a putt more because I was afraid to just go through it and pull it. So I was like, I'm just going to baby push this thing over the bridge. And that's not how putting works. You have to have the same smooth stroke. And I didn't, and I hit the wall. You made the hole-in-one. You made the hole-in-one on 18.
Stunning.
Place is going crazy. Back-to-back hole-in-ones to get into the money and jump up all the way. I mean, you jumped Marty. You jumped me. You got into 3rd place. And it was just like, oh, my God, I can't believe what just happened. I'm like red in the face. My blood pressure's through the roof. I couldn't believe it. And, yeah, you just like, when you have to step up and do it, some people do it and some people don't. And I just didn't. And then you did. And that's just like, that's sport, you know?
On 17, like I legit watching you, I was like, if he gets this over the bridge, I'm gonna finish 5th because I'm not gonna get over the bridge. Right. And I was like, I'm gonna melt down because I hadn't gone over it either. I think maybe round 3 I did, but the other time, like Kirk was shitting on me because I just laid up and went around it because I was like, if you miss these bridges, you're fucked because then you have a bad angle and you're gonna make like a 3 or a 4. So I didn't feel good about it. And then you're standing there, and the bridge is only like 2 cups wide, I would say. And it's like, if you don't get it over, if you don't hit a pretty damn good putt, you're going to miss it in that situation. So then when you missed it, I was like, all right, I have a massive chance now. The hole-in-one's just lucky on that one. You hit it over the bridge, and if it goes in, like, that's a little bit lucky. The one on 18, I had practiced a lot, and that putt is fast. For whatever reason, like, the putt on 18 is really fast. And sometimes it, like, if you hit it a little bit too far outside right, it just wouldn't break at all. And I hit a good whatever. It was like the only one even out of practice that I actually made goes in. And then I felt for Marty because it's so much faster than it looks. And when he hit that, I was like, this is going to hit the back wall. And then you've got one of those weird like mini golf like putts where your putter like hits the wall. So I felt shitty for Marty because to like miss a 2 or 3 footer sucks at the end. But it was fucking fun, man. Like the mini golf that we do is insanely fun. It was insanely fun.
Dude, we made so many putts and so many passes at balls with spiders in our hands, and like it actually felt like practice at the end of the day of like putting, that I played 9 holes this morning at Colonial Springs. The wind was kind of whipping, but it was like 65 degrees, beautiful day. Went out there 10 a.m., got back perfectly in time, 1:30 before all the guys teed off. We're watching it in the golf cart. It was the best day ever. It was my first time putting on a real golf course in a long time because we just did the mini golf and we hadn't played before that. And I was like, I wonder how that's going to translate, right? Colonial is ripping right now. They're running at like a 13. It's been dry. It's been windy here. They're like perfectly healed up after getting aerated. And I couldn't miss putts today. I'm talking, I think something unlocked in me. I'm draining these like 5 foot, like pretty relatively straight putts. Like when I lag one up and it rolls to that like 3 or 4 foot, and like just get this one just drop this one in the middle of the hole. I didn't miss a single one of them today. I shot a 39 with a triple bogey because I hit the water on a chip out, but like I couldn't miss. And I'm looking around like, did this just like unlock something in me? Did mini golf give me the confidence to make putts? And then I thought, yeah, it's just like practice. That's like what practicing does.
You practice a lot 4 days in a row.
Just hitting straight putts and like learning how to like make your stroke and like follow through and not decel except for on 17. It actually does something, Trent. I guess we actually like learned something. You know what I mean? It's fucking
Makes
insane.
sense.
That's amazing. I'm not surprised by that because we did hit, we hit whatever 72 times like 3 putts. We hit basically
Right.
that are all straight short putts that you pretty much have to make. And it was
Right.
like it's like you're probably just gonna figure something out at that point. But yeah, that the whole back 9 of that, I was like, I play golf Frankie all the time. He stripes the ball, but like you can putt it off the planet. And I'm like, why is he just hitting these long straight putts with perfect speed?
That was
What
insane.
the fuck is going on? But yeah, that was fucking great. Shout out to all the production guys. Like I can't imagine like that Wednesday, we were putting forever that whole day. And then the whole deal on Thursday night was quite
holding
the operation.
cameras like for that long and listening to all the cuts and changes. All business. Pete was in the control room. You had Nick and Jake announcing for like 20 hours straight of golf coverage with like no background music and no like there's no plan. It's just us playing mini golf and they have to try and be funny.
Dude, I forgot they were in there. And I was thinking about because there were times when it was quiet out on the putt when everybody's putting, when it's like getting a little serious. And I was thinking this has got to be a weird broadcast. And then it clicked like, oh, Nick and Jake are commentating this thing. So yeah, they were in there for a long time. I think I saw a few recaps. They did a great job, but the overall the tournament was great.
It was
so
really
intense.
fucking intense.
Like on the third hole, I was crumbling. Like there's this one spot that you have to go putt to, and like I just missed it. And I knew that everyone had made a 2, and I was about to make a 4. And then on the next hole, there was a guy that was filming, and I had never met him before. He was just one of I don't know if he's a Chicago guy or if he was like a freelance guy, but at one point I'm standing over my ball and I've lost 2 strokes on Riggs. I've lost 3 strokes on Marty. The whole entire day is crumbling. And as I'm standing over the ball, I'm about to putt on the 4th hole, which now I thought I might as well just go home. And as I take the club back, he just goes, "Got it." Like whoever he's talking to in his ear. And I backed off and I'm like, you got to learn, you got to figure something else out to like let them know that you got the shot. Like he was actually physically saying, "I got the shot here at hole 4." And as I'm putting, and I'm like, that's all I hear, dude. It was crazy. Like I snapped on a camera guy.
It was a huge moment.
I am a camera guy.
It was a huge moment. And then it's like we get this a lot when we film golf, that you get camera or technical people, whoever that help out that don't know golf. And I totally understand how it could come off. They're like, there's all kinds of noise going on throughout the day. Why would you care that I said got it? And it's like, no, dude. It was like right as you pulled the putter back, everyone else is quiet. The guy just goes, "Got it." And everyone's like, you're like, what the fuck? There's no way.
Whitney did like a Bush League move on Marty on like the 4th hole. He was just like, can you imagine Frank shitting in that toilet? Ooh. Frank the Tank shitting as Marty's making contact. And Marty laughed and shanked the ball almost out of bounds. It cost him like a double bogey.
Damn.
It was crazy.
Was wild.
It was absolutely crazy. Yeah. Experience your drives in 10K with the all-new QI10 Max driver from our friends at TaylorMade. Little notice here. Scottie Scheffler, Masters champion, number 1 ranked player in the world by far. It's not even close. What does he use? You guys know what he uses off the tee?
QI10.
Yes, sir.
The TaylorMade QI10. The QI10 Max is the most forgiving driver TaylorMade has ever made, with 10K MOI for maximum stability and forgiveness at impact. More forgiveness means more long and straight drives, even on off-center strikes. Nelly Korda, who's won 4 tournaments in a row, I think, on the LPGA Tour, she uses the QI10 Max. They've got the Core, and they've got the LS as well. The days of missing the fairway are numbered. Shop the QI10 Max, QI10, and QI10 LS drivers, plus schedule a custom fitting at TaylorMadeGolf.com. That is TaylorMadeGolf.com, and go check out the QI10.
I let the team down and I lost to Will Compton, so be on the lookout for us promoting Bussin' With the Boys merch.
That's right.
That was our deal we talked about on the last show, where if Will beat any of us in the mini golf, we would promote their merch, and if all of us beat Will, they would promote ours. But I lost to Will, so we've been in contact. Riggs and I talked to Will right before it was over, and we were kind of leaving, and we were like, just whatever you want to do, we'll do it. Send us the instructions. Will was very cool about it, so be on the lookout for us promoting a little Bussin' With the Boys merch.
We did lose, but we also gained. We made waves with the Bussin' With the Boys guys, specifically Will.
Dude,
this
big
week,
time.
I mean, it's so different when you get to see them in person. And then each night, we were there since Tuesday or whatever it was. I don't know how the crew accumulated, but it was me, Francis, Whitney, and Compton would find a little cocktail bar. And somehow, some way, we started off just like telling stories about where we came from, like why we worked there. And like I'm telling my origin story, how foreplay got to be. And Will's just like so into it and like so like appreciative of her learning the stories because he wasn't there in the beginning years of Barstool. And like my stories about Dave, and he's like almost taking mental notes, and he was like so appreciative of like everyone just kind of giving their story. And I'm like telling them about how Rig started and Trent started, and he's like, dude, this is what I mean about the team shit. You know what I mean? Like we finally met him for the first time.
Right.
There's all this bullshit beefs on Twitter and Instagram, and we're saying shit on podcasts, and I'm saying like he shouldn't make the shirt, and then we learn like, oh, there's business involved in it, and like what's our deal like, and what's his deal like, and why are we so like protective of our brand, and where did our brand come from, and what are your thoughts on 9/11? You know what I mean? We found everything out about each other, and it's like I looked at him at the end of the week, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, come down to Nashville. Like we're like best friends.
He's
you know what I mean? Like
awesome.
it's the man,
dude.
He's the fucking man.
I didn't go to the drinks, but when I would hang out with him during mini golf and just sort of around the Chicago office, I just felt like I was hanging out with a guy who I played football with in high school. Like that was it. That was the whole vibe. He's a super nice guy, funny guy, chill guy, team guy. I couldn't have enjoyed my time with Will Compton more, genuinely.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Will's fucking great. I just thought he was awesome. He made me laugh. There was a funny part in like the final round where like Francis was like drinking a little bit. He's like, you drinking? I was like, no, I'm not really drinking. And we had to pour drinks into a cup because we can only have certain advertisers or whatever. And like, I kind of looked over and Will legit was like, I got it. And like went, poured a drink into a cup, brought me a cup, got me a refill later. And at some point I was laughing. I was like, it's insane how different the internet is and how far we've come. And here we are just hanging, having a legitimate laugh. At the end, he dapped us all up and was like, great hanging all week. Let's do this in Nashville. So whatever it is, like the past or the issues or the fights that we had on the internet or tweets or being annoyed about this or that, like Will's just fucking great. He was awesome.
We got to go to Nashville. Genuinely.
We all did. We got to do a whole Nashville thing. And the
just like go to Nashville.
I already told Whit I'm going to start strong arming him because, I mean, I don't know how many Ubers and drinks and dinners I can have with this guy before he does a golf video with the golf guys. I mean, like, this is getting crazy. I said, Whit, you got to come do a video with us. I don't know what. He's like, oh, my schedule, bro. I'm just like, no, I don't give a fuck. We're doing one. So we have to get all the guys together. We got 1 million fucking golf people. Let's do our own little cups, right? Everyone does their cups and their majors, all these other golf brands. We're getting Bussin'. We're getting fucking Chicklets. We're getting ourselves. We get PMT, and we fucking do it. I mean, we're literally saying the Ryder Cup.
We did it, but
there's reasons why. There's no reason why we can't do it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
All the time. We'll fly wherever. So that's coming for the fans. I know it's coming. People like to see collaborations and everyone kind of being together. There's no reason why you have to watch 1 million different golf videos for everyone. Like that's great Monday through Friday, but let's do some stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Like once in a while, like once every couple weeks, once every couple months, let's make a big deal about it. And they couldn't agree more too. They loved it. They were like, let's fucking go. We'll do one-on-one episode, one on another channel, one on another channel. We'll just keep it going. We'll just keep it rolling. And I can't wait because they're the funniest people ever. And it's just great. And also Francis in that group of like talking about like real world problems, like the global money reserve and why like the US dollar is important, and then like how it could switch to like the yen and shit. And like me and there was one point where Francis was legit giving us like a lesson on just like global economics and like war, and me and Compton looked at each other and we're like, that was insane. Like that was I've never been a part of a bar conversation like that. You know what I mean? Like it's all like ball or just like talking sports or whatever. And Francis is a character, man.
I love that guy.
Talk about police issues. It's just like why certain things need to be. It's just like, wow, he's amazing at talking and explaining things. I fucking love Francis.
Me too.
Oh,
Yeah, Francis is awesome. Yeah, we're gonna do all that stuff. So it was good. It was a good, productive
Yep.
week. It's nice to be in the office. It is like there's something to be said about everybody just being in the same place, in the same office, mingling, hanging, whatever. It goes a long way. So it was an awesome week. We had a hell of a week overall. Starting in Augusta, we went to the Masters a little bit. We had a live show. We go to Chicago, mini golf. Masters finishes up all weekend. So it was an awesome week. I love the Masters tournament. It was fucking fantastic. Congrats to Scottie Scheffler. I don't have anything else. So if anybody is anybody's got anything else, great. Otherwise,
we're going to the RBC Heritage, Trent and I.
Yeah,
which
we're
is
flying
just
tomorrow.
Extremely random, but we are going. We're flying tomorrow. I think we're going to play in some sort of pro-am, maybe with Ryan Blaney at Harbortown. And we're doing some event tomorrow night or Tuesday night with some of the body armor people. I know they have a big presence down at the RBC Heritage. We are big body armor people ourselves, which we will be rocking and rolling with the body armor crew at the RBC. I did say, if the Islanders, and I know there's a guy who like talks, he comments at what minute I say the word Islanders in every single podcast. But so this one's like whatever.
We're
I
deep.
don't even know. Yeah, 123
Couple hours in.
minutes.
Mhm.
So if they lose tomorrow, which I really hope they don't, game 82 will be against the Penguins and possibly a win and get in situation. I don't know what I'm going to do about that Wednesday round at the RBC Heritage. I might be on the first flight back to Borelli's Italian Restaurant for a win, get in, grab your nutsack. Let's all get under the same roof and make sure this team makes the fucking playoffs. Hopefully it doesn't have to happen. Hopefully we get some luck along the way. But I'm just putting that in the universe. I don't want people being like, where is he? Why is that? I'm committed to both. I'm going there, and then I'm also back home.
I don't think it's going to come to that. I hope it doesn't come to that.
Okay, good.
I really don't think it's going to. But good luck. I'm always rooting for the Islanders.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm doing a Peter Millar shoot in Pinehurst on Pinehurst number 10 on Tuesday with, I think it's Clint Dempsey, former soccer player, Chris Lane, and I can't remember exactly who else is going to be there, but Chris Lane, the country musician. So I'm flying there, 6 a.m. flight. I got to North Carolina tomorrow, playing Tuesday, and then flying back really early Wednesday morning. So I'm doing a little Peter Millar stuff.
Fuck yeah.
I'm bringing.
We're all
I got
over
the
the
drone
place.
fired up. I got the camera fired up. I'm going to get all kinds of footage from Pinehurst number 10, which I'm jacked up to see. So yeah,
Very
we're
nice.
on the road again per usual. All right, long show, Masters recap, awesome tournament. Congrats to Scottie Scheffler. We'll be back for another show on Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.